Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. We've taken a little hiatus, a couple days off to support a couple colleagues, here and there. Um, but we're back. We're back stronger than ever with some topics that must be addressed. Number one, must FBAs help immigrants? As our brother Tariq Nasheed just brought up a couple days ago, a lot of the immigrants are demanding that Black Americans assist them with give them assistance with respect to immigration. My question is, do we have to? Do we have any allegiance to them? Secondly, did they ever help FBAs? I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. My mother was a little girl in that civil rights movement in Smithfield, Alabama, where we're from, where Bull Connor drove down the street in tanks. I was actually baptized in 16th Street Baptist Church, the church where they threw the bomb and killed the babies. That's my home church. Yes. I don't recall one story of immigrants marching with us or getting killed alongside of us. I recall a story of an Italian and a couple of Jewish people dying in Mississippi, I think, in a car. But other than that, I don't recall any immigrants. Then they weren't immigrants; they were American. The Italian and Jewish brothers and sisters were American citizens. So y'all could tell me something I don't know. Did they ever help FBAs? And last but not least, and most importantly, is FBA culture gate kept? Uh, Me and our sisters Wani and Nikki talked about this the other day at nauseum. We tried to figure out what's the problem with our lineage. Why have we been suffering so many problems? And our sister Wani hit the nail on the damn head. We need to gatekeep our culture. For instance, when you look at the Chinese, right? In Chinese culture, the Chinese have a distinct identity, and so do the Taiwanese, or even better, the Chinese have a distinct identity, and so do the Vietnamese. They may be similar in slightly similar in appearance, right? But they have two distinct cultures in which they gatekeep. The Chinese don't let Vietnamese people just run up and tell them how to do stuff. The Chinese don't let Vietnamese people run up in their schools and take their scholarships. No. And there's no disrespect in gatekeeping your lineage. So this is a very powerful space where we're going to examine the need to gatekeep. So let's start from the top. Must FBAs help immigrants, Wani?
Absolutely not. The people, unfortunately, that we have to deal with that feel entitled to us, they're very disrespectful and they're very entitled. And when all else fails, they'll just run around the internet saying that they're us, like that lady that we were looking at earlier today, where I went on her page, she's Arab and something. She's fully foreign, but she said her friend was a Black American. She said, "Oh, my friend is Black American with Jamaican lineage." She said that was a Black American, and therefore all of us should help because they're rounding up Black Americans and we're on the hot seat and we've got to do something. They're coming for us. They're coming for us. That's their new mantra. They just get some ragtag, crooked wig hoe up there lying about her background, saying that they're arresting Black Americans and thinking she's going to trick us into it. There's a lot of them, and that's their new ploy, just misinformation, inciting fear. And people that don't know how to look stuff up, they just believe it. And I don't blame them actually for believing it. I really don't, because these people are very passionate and oh, they're not even going to look at any investigations for civil rights violations. They're just making up whatever they want, and nobody's going to look that up, or things are hard to look up and very complicated, so they just leap on something knowing that you're not going to do it anyway. No, we should not. We unfortunately, we just happen to be saddled with a ball and chain group of people who just can't get themselves together and need to drag us into it. It has nothing to do with us, and we're not going to be deported.
Right, right, right. Let's look back at some Claude Anderson to understand should FBAs help immigrants. Um, so FBAs have helped immigrants. We've caped hard for them, but let's look back at the data. According to Dr. Claude Anderson, ethnic and racial immigrants historically have been a wedge between whites and blacks, giving whites an alternative to interacting with blacks. Each time in history, either before or after a war, when the American economy was expanding and could have offered material economic benefits to black, a new influx of immigrants or refugees arrived to fill the void and further exile blacks from the fruitful participation in national life, according to historian Dan Lacey. So what Dr. Anderson was is saying is immigrants view blacks as in a predatory fashion. It's not a help you, let me help you, brother. It's a here goes a free ride. Here goes a chance I need to come up. I want to tell y'all a story if y'all will let me about a guy I went to high school with. Now, my daddy, I've talked about dad a lot of times because dad worked at a gas station. My father wanted a gas station, but couldn't get a loan on one, even though he had a perfect credit score and he served his country with honorable discharge in the Vietnam War via naval intelligence. That's a whole nother story. But one of the young men I went to high school with who came over here from Vietnam, his dad was a refugee from Vietnam. Vietnam dad to this day don't speak English. Moved into the black neighborhood in Birmingham. It was a really poor part of Glen Iris, downtown Birmingham. It's kind of fancy now. It's been gentrified. But he moved in with us in Glen Iris with the black folks. And fast forward 30 years later, he got his comeuppance off of his dad having getting a gas station somehow. So my daddy with a perfect credit score couldn't get a gas station. His daddy had no credit score and got a gas station and flipped it into two gas stations. He's a millionaire, his dad, and the sons are all doing well. And now, from what I hear, he thumbs his nose at black people and laughs at us. Why? How do I know he laughs at us? Because his brother owns a nail salon in Birmingham in a black neighborhood, and rumor has it, while they're doing black ladies' toes and hands and toes, they're laughing at us. So that's what Claude Anderson was saying. Claude Anderson is saying they have historically been a wedge. The dominant society won't give us that loan to open a nail shop. They won't give us that loan to open a gas station, but it will give them the loan to justify. See, we're giving the loan to minorities. We are giving that. We are giving loans to minorities. See, we gave it to this Vietnamese person, but they don't give them to us. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson calls a wedge. So, in conclusion, immigrants have no history of helping blacks. They have a history of parasiting off of black neighborhoods.
Yes, they do. So basically, what I was going to say next is that there was an African professor running around the internet talking about um, if we hear anything against immigrants, we Black Americans, that it's misinformation. And don't listen to it. Don't listen to anything naughty about immigrants being harmful to Black Americans. Well, I put 3 pages in the Purple Pill showing how since 1992, and it's actually been before, but articles since 1992 show how immigration harms Black Americans specifically, not to mention the rest of the people. But yeah, and it didn't get any notice until white boys were thrown under the bus and told they were lazy and stupid. See, all of the things that have happened to us, those same people have done those things to them. And I've lived right through it. They did things to black neighborhoods, and the white people just said, oh, we're going to move. There's so many immigrants. We're going to just scooch on out, and we move too.
Hmm.
And they didn't speak up. They didn't say anything. They just kept telling me, "Oh no, they're just here to care about their families." But you got run off the block because they were over here selling drugs on the street and we couldn't live there anymore. Why aren't you talking about that? Oh no, it's just an isolated incident because I want to keep on pretending that that's not happening. And now that it's in their face and they're being having their apartments taken over and they're getting their innocent people shot and raped. Now that that's happening, they're ready to be an American again when we've been fighting and burning up our energy. Like I said years before, I said this immigration thing is not our fight. Why are these other people so lazy? Why are they making us fight stuff that they don't like? We have particular fights that we need to focus on. They should be helping us. So now they are. Now they are helping. They voted the way they wanted it to go. And now these things are being implemented. So that's some, pressure off of our back. We don't have to keep talking about what these people are doing to us because now it's been exposed that they're doing that to us and they're doing it to everybody who's American. So that's a good turn of events.
Yes, yes, Wani, and it's a damn shame that it has to bleed over into the dominant society for them to give a damn. It's been happening to us since I was a little boy, and I'm a '80s baby for Christ's sake. There's no greater example of how the immigrant class did not help FBAs than the beauty supply shop. Now let's stop right there. The term beauty supply shop has a real nasty supposition. It's warfare in itself. The term beauty supply shop or beauty store has a supposition. A supposition implies that you need to come here to what? Get beautiful. Therefore, the supposition is black women, if you don't spend money, you're not beautiful. And the only way you can be beautiful is to spend money, which I totally fucking disagree with. But let's get back to the meat and potatoes of my argument. Looking at this beauty supply store that's in parked in neighborhoods all over Birmingham, Alabama, all black neighborhoods all over Memphis, Tennessee, black neighborhoods all over Rochester, New York, just a couple places I live, black neighborhoods in Washington, D.C. Well, neighborhoods that used to be black in Washington, D.C., let's put it that way. These beauty supply stores have been dominated in all the jurisdictions mentioned, dominated by Koreans. Going to the beauty supply shop with my wife and my sisters and my mother and back in the day, black men don't flash. You remember you had to go with go with your mom and go with your wife, whatnot. Um, I recall the store being 100% serviced by foundational black American women and some men. Um, well, I don't recall one of those beauty supply shops having a scholarship for the local schools. Do you think? Don't you think that if they are receiving their bread and butter off the black community, they owe the black community something? How about a service project to plant flowers in the black neighborhood? Can you buy some uniforms for the local football team? Can you buy some pom poms for the local cheerleader? Nope, never happens. Yeah, if somebody names me of that happening, I'm gonna give you $10 on Cash App. Like it don't happen. They come to our neighborhoods, they suck up the resources, and they jump in their BMW and drive across town to the dominant society's neighborhood. They're parasites to our neighborhoods. Fire Nagy, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Good. Glad you guys started this space. It looks like it's the hot topic. Good afternoon, Professor, Wani, and Nikki. Um, Let me say it like this. This is a saying I love, and I know they say it a lot in the Middle East. And it goes like this: "The enemy of my enemy is my enemy." Um, right now, it seems like the value of Black Americans is at its highest, and it seems like it's at its highest because we've withdrawn ourselves the most. So, as we look at strategy, and I don't just mean immediate gratification, if we just basically just stand back and let everything play itself out, we will drive up our value even more.
Hmm.
And so we can leave. We can talk about like all the transgressions they done because it is a lot. But from my perspective, the strategy is long term, and that is to withdraw our aid to them and let the dominant society mow the lawn, so to speak. Meaning they're going to cut down their population enough so they're not threatened. And strategically speaking, it would be a blunder of ours to say anything or to do anything or to offer our assistance. Because then, essentially, what would happen is that group would become stronger and they wouldn't really respect us as a community, and they haven't anymore. And I know I talk a lot about a guy by the name of John Mearsheimer, but John Mearsheimer talks about the international system and great power politics. And he talks about how it is the duty of a great power that when they see another ascendant power, to knock that ascendant power down. Well, in this case, we have a once in a generation, opportunity to make sure that the immigrant class and the Hispanic class and the tether class is knocked down from the ranks of ever trying to rival us or threaten us. And I don't know what a time to be alive, right? I mean, we can basically just do nothing, sit back and watch as the dominant society weakens groups that were threatening, our power, our economics, our safety and security. So just on a level of strategy, I mean, no, we should not help them. We should watch a dominant society, you know, take out their fury on them. We should watch them go to war with the dominant society. We should not intervene in this conflict. We should watch it play itself out, and we should just continue to withhold our resources, our aid, and everything else until both sides are sufficiently weakened enough so that our power increases relative to the system that we live in. I hope I made sense to everybody, but I kind of look at it from like a combat strategy. Let's just let them weaken each other.
Fire Naggy, you reminded me. You were real eloquent and very sophisticated and educated. And I always love to hear you talk, man. You make a lot of sense. But when I heard you, I heard my grandmama, who didn't finish third grade, my mama's mama. She said, used to say, "Baby, um, don't get in the way when God is punishing somebody, because if you get in the way, He might punish you." And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at punishment come back around. And we have a history of trying to intervene and cape for folk, and we absorb some of that negative karma when we help. We need to stand back and, like the brother said, Fire Nagy is on some shit. Real talk. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Exhibit A in the Jumbotron, if you will. You've seen this before, but this is critical to understanding the United States of America. This is a feudal system in England. So America was developed under the feudal system, and the concept of once the join or die letter was issued, rendered in the first conventional Congress met, was to create a hierarchy that was kind of a hybrid off this. Now, America did not have a king. Well, George Washington decided that when he left after 4 years. But America did have a noble class. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because you have to understand the hierarchy of elitism. At the bottom is where the most people are. And the bottom of that pyramid serves as the foundation to the top. So if we do like Fire Nagy said and don't get involved, don't hold that top up, that top is gonna go fucking tumbling down. And they're gonna find the bottom to land on. But guess who they not gonna land on? They not gonna land on us. They gonna land on immigrants. And guess what, Black Americans? What you gonna learn today is you have no obligation to help an immigrant.
And the funny thing about it is that they get the idea. That's why they're crying, and they're crying to us. Like, ma'am, why don't you cry to the Chinese? Why don't you cry to why are you crying to my people? I don't get how a Mexican could cry to us. Makes no sense. Cry to the white people that you identify as on your paperwork. Why are you directly crying to us? And guess what? They know that we're not helping them. And guess what? Their only recourse is to pretend to be us, which I just saw two people today go around and pretend like, oh, I'm you. No, you're not. I just saw your bio. And then try to get people riled up to think that they have to protect it and reinterpret the 14th Amendment, which, in their opinion, it says that we're going to be in chains and getting deported with them. So, anyway, let's go to the next hand, CC.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Professor, Sister Wani, Sister Nikki. What's going on? Yeah, Fire Nagy, just to go off that point, that brother was cooking. You on fire, right on point, because I was thinking that same thing. And the other day, Professor, I remember when we was going off on that little tether who didn't know where he was from. He said we shouldn't be obligated to help them, and we shouldn't help them. So I'm gonna stick to that point. I'm gonna just do my work by looking out for my people. I'm gonna sit back. And yeah, my grandma had that same saying: "Don't get in the way when the Lord is doing His work. You better do some work, so when He look at you, you know what to do." And my grandmas are still around. They some 40s babies. I just lost my great grandparents not too long ago in '08, but he was from the 20s. I still got some good ass stories off of him. And they said they didn't see nobody on the field but us. So yeah, we are not obligated to help nobody but our own. And I land on that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're learning. We're coming around to it. What I wanted to educate our people on is something Claude Anderson. I made a discovery. We were trying to figure out why it's so important for the dominant society to not to make sure that foundational Black Americans don't receive anything, any type of benefit. And I really wanted to wrap my head around that. To put this in context, it was a 14th Amendment that's been a hot button issue, and I looked into the 14th Amendment and saw right away when the 14th Amendment was passed, the Supreme Court at the time used the 14th Amendment to say, no, 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 it's not for black people, it's for businesses, because businesses are considered a person, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that's what the law did. That's what the Supreme Court did. And it just dawned on me, why don't they want black Americans to have anything? And I was thumbing through Claude Anderson's book, and it just came to me. What came to me is on page 10 and 11 of Black Labor, White Wealth. Dr. Anderson says, quote, slaves were intentionally kept without hope. A slave's life was committed to producing wealth and comfort for white masters. Slaves suffered in silence. Let's look back at that hierarchy. Groups that come here from the poor whites from Ireland and Italy, who weren't white at the time but amalgamated there. That's the name of the game. Come here, put in your dues, and you can amalgamate into whiteness. I think our Hispanic friends were following that same dynamic. Yep. Somebody argue me if you think I'm wrong, but I really think the Hispanic population, for the most part, was following that pathway of the
They were,
Irish.
but they failed. They
Yeah.
didn't. They didn't make the cut.
Oh
Like
wow. We need to.
The Arabs and the Hispanics didn't make the cut.
Well, I would like to know, Wani, why didn't they make the so audience?
Oh, I can tell you.
Well, we're gonna go to the moment, but let me make sure the audience knows what we're talking about. So, audience in the 1920s, the first group of immigrants sent here were sent in the 1600s as weapons. They were low class English people, obviously white. The second round was sent in the 1800s. They were the Irish. The Irish were not considered white, but like Wani said, the Irish and then the Italians were sent. They weren't considered white. But the Irish and Italians were allowed to amalgamate into whiteness. They were allowed to step in. The third wave of Hispanic and Arabs, according to Wani, was not allowed to amalgamate into whiteness. So I don't know the reason. I know they weren't, but I never understood why. Wani, could you educate us and tell us why they were not allowed to amalgamate?
I can, but I want to do it after we speak to the two people on the stage.
Got it.
We can talk about that very much. Very easy to explain.
Okay, I don't. Whose hand is up?
Forrest wanted to speak. If he doesn't, then CLOU wanted to speak.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Force.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Shout out to everybody on stage. Professor, I just have a question for you.
Uh huh.
I mean, shout out to the Mexican. I mean, I'm a hustler, so I respect hustlers, people that are trying to make a living for
What's your
themselves and their
question, sir?
family.
What's your question,
Mexicans?
sir?
What are you
So
Yeah,
my
because
talking about?
question
I'm
is,
not in the mood for this.
What's
um,
your
Yeah.
question? You making a
yeah,
statement,
this is my question.
sir?
My question,
Do you know what a
this is my
question is?
question. Yeah, can I give my question now? So my question is, do you think the immigrants in America are taking jobs from Black Americans?
Yes, they are. They're taking
And
jobs from all
just
Americans.
yeah, just to add.
hold on. Slow down. Slow it down. So, you got answer question one. Do you have another question, sir? Go ahead.
I didn't finish my question. I wanted to
Hey,
make
hey, hey, you talking too much. Slow down. Easy. What's your second question? Second question.
so I just like to add that the Chinese have about 1.4 billion people, and they have the lowest unemployment.
That's a statement, sir. You said you
Mm-hmm.
had a question.
Professor, can
What
I finish
about
up?
it? What about
Can I
it?
finish up?
Hey, look, you said you had a
Can I
you,
finish
you
up,
said
Professor?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't
you
know.
said you had a question. I'm
Of
waiting.
course, I'm getting to my question.
I,
This is it.
I'm waiting on a question. You made a statement,
Exactly. This is where we
sir.
go.
Sir, you need to understand the difference between questions and statements. I'm.
Stop. I got a
I
lady
don't
from.
know where you went to third grade, but in third grade we learned the difference between
Oh, here I
questions
go.
and
Let him
statements.
let him say whatever he's trying to
Can I
say
say
so we
what I
can
want to
move.
say? Why you
I
gagging?
got a
May
hatchet
I
for you,
say
so
what
go
I
ahead
have
and
to
Are you
say
say?
it.
scared of me asking my question?
Go,
You're gonna get
I
hatcheted,
mean,
but
you're
go
you're a
ahead and say
professor.
it.
You're capable of answering any
go,
question.
go,
You don't have
go
to
ahead.
mute
Go
me.
ahead with your
You're
question,
doing
sir.
that African
Exactly.
babbling.
Allow me land. You
Allow
know more
me.
than me. You're a professor.
Hold on, hold on. Please
He
allow
just
me.
he just asked. He wants some land. He now I know he's
Allow
up
me
here begging.
land.
Allow me
I'm not
land,
giving you any land,
sir.
Please
sir. You're
allow
in the
me
wrong
land.
room.
Please
Please.
allow me land, sir. Please allow me to land. Repeat after me. Please allow me to land.
They don't
We're not
like
doing that,
two
professor.
words.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, we are. We just did it.
Repeat.
Let me go forward. Why do you keep?
Repeat after me. Please allow me to land. Not. It's not. Please allow me land. That's second grade now. Go ahead.
Can I
It's
go forward with
actually
my question?
caveman talk.
Go ahead.
Because I listen when the white people talk, they think Black Americans talk ghetto
Okay,
though. So
homoerotic.
I understand
Sir,
when you try to do this.
we are award winning narrators. If you don't shut your 10 tongue sounding ass up.
So let me go
You
to my
see why
question.
I
So
always end up
can
cursing? You
I
see this?
can I why you guys get freaked out when I
A
want to ask something?
motherfucker with 10 tongues hanging through two gap
Oh, here
teeth
we go.
is
Here we go.
talking about how somebody talks. You can't speak any language clearly. Be quiet. We
Oh,
are
here we go.
award winning singers, rappers, narrators, and what the hell are you? A
Can,
babbling
can I
fool
go on
with
with my
women that
question?
breastfeed goats. Shut up. I've seen enough of you
May
today.
I go on with my question? May I?
Oh, you want to teach? I'm gonna get a white brother now to teach you guys how to speak Queen's
A
English.
white
I'm not ghetto
brother?
English.
See, I
White
knew
people
it. I knew it.
white
I'm
people
gonna
have
get
the
him to teach you how
London
to speak Queen's
white
English.
people have the white people have the
If you wanna
London
play that
lisp.
card now,
Go look up the London lips. They can't even say their
you
own
speak ghetto
words.
English. I want to
They
try to teach
I don't speak ghetto
you. You
English.
speak. You all
You
speak
don't
ghetto
speak
English.
any language
You
at
you try
all.
to be act as if
You don't speak any
you don't
languages.
speak no
You
English.
sound
I
like a
don't speak
fool.
no English, sir. That's a double negative.
Never mind. He just
You don't
wants to
speak no English. You speak
he
ghetto
wants to
English.
fight because he got chopped down like a tree.
You guys are scared of me asking my question.
Scared of what? You ain't got nothing.
Can I ask my question then?
May
You
I
asked the
ask my
question.
question?
Are immigrants taking jobs? Yes, they're taking everything from entry level jobs that our teenagers like to do, teenagers that are black and white in America like to cut lawns for side money. They like to work at McDonald's for entry level job experience. They
Like I
like to
said,
do shh. They like
no,
to do all the jobs. And they did them before these people crawled over here. Who do you think ran this country when these people weren't here? Who do you think did these things? Everybody. We had white maids, we had black maids. We had white waitresses, we had black waitresses. What are you talking about? We do all the jobs from top to bottom and we don't need anybody to do them. Thank you very much.
so it's kind of surprising for me because America is just 350 million, if not less than that. But the citizens are complaining of jobs being taken away from them. But China has about 1.4 billion, and they have employment for everybody. Is
Why
it that
don't you go
America is
over
not
there?
capable of?
Why
I
don't
mean,
you go over there?
Sir, I didn't acknowledge you
I'm
to make a
surprised.
state. I didn't acknowledge you to make a statement. I'm still waiting on your
I thought we
question.
haven't. I'm told we haven't. I'm.
Why
Can
are
I
you
talk?
asking us to compare
No,
China's
no,
job?
for real.
Why
Someone is muting me. Here
I
we go.
just muted you because you were talking. What does China's job environment have to do with us?
Hey, China's whooped his ass so good that he got Stockholm syndrome. He's defending them.
Right.
No, because
Did you come in here to do PR work
I'm
for
surprised.
China? Shut up.
I'm
I don't care.
Hey, they done beat his
We
ass
don't
upside
no,
the.
care.
no. I'm
Hey, they done beat his ass upside his head with a stick so good that he
And
in
he
here
was one of them
defending them.
kids in the crate. He
Right.
was one of them kids in that
no,
crate on
no,
the video.
no.
Professor,
I'm
could
being
you
muted.
check your Twitter?
I'm
Yes, I
being
muted
muted.
you. I did. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Got it.
I'm
Could
muted.
you check your Twitter
Roger that.
comments in between this person trying to babble?
Yes, got it.
So I'm surprised that
Please.
America, that has 350 million
Why are
people,
you asking us to defend
about
America?
jobs
We're
being
not
taken,
going
whereas
anywhere.
Chinese have about
You are, and so are
1.4
Chinese
billion people,
people.
and there's job for everybody.
That's nice.
Why are you guys complaining? I don't understand.
We're not complaining to you. We're telling you to get out.
No, I'm shocked. America is the world power, right? I
We
mean,
are
if
not
Go
China. We
away.
are not
if
China.
China if China can provide job for 1.4 billion.
Goodbye, dumbass.
This damn fool in here supporting China. I want to. I got you, Wani. I'm about to
That's
post
a
in a minute.
shame.
So I want to identify something because it's a teachable moment in what that imbecile was doing. He said some comment, some ignorant comment of he's going to go get a white man to help us with English. He thinks the white man is God. If you look in the jumbotron, that's a picture I took in West Africa that I did not want to take. I saw it when we landed, and my wife was like, "Look at that white Jesus," and I turned my head. I said, "I didn't see it. Didn't see it." A month later, in on the border of Togo, I saw this picture. Oh, I saw it so many times that I had to take it. This dude really thinks that that's Jesus in the jumbotron. Therefore, he equates that white skin and that stringy hair with divinity. That's why he wanted to tell us to look for a white man to correct us, because he thinks that white man is God, even though people in this country look nothing like that. It's actually sad. In conclusion, his bragging on the Chinese is probably from the Chinese whooping his ass so bad that he has Stockholm syndrome and he thinks that
Mhm. And
they're in
we should
love.
cash app the flogs to make sure those floggings continue. Thank you very much.
Speaking of Cash App, this is Wani Spot's Cash App in the Jumbotron. Likewise, if you want, I have my Cash App in the Jumbotron. If still have copies of my book, if you want to know more about your FBA history, go ahead and put $25 on my Cash App, and make sure you put your full address. Somebody, a bunch of people purchased my book the other day, and somebody did not put their address in the jumbotron. It was somebody named Shanice, and so Shanice, if you're in here, please give me your full address so I can put your send your book out. I'll send another round of books uh Friday. So anyway,
Now, this lady, CLOU, wanted to speak, or she came up to speak.
Yes. How y'all doing this evening?
hey,
Hello.
Cleo, how do you pronounce it? Clue or Cleo?
CeeLo.
Clu. Okay, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Professor Wani and
Doing
Nikki?
well.
Y'all doing? I just want to ask. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm trying to read my screen. So, must FBA help immigrants? No. Did they help FBA? No. I think this is a classic um, uh, example of they come over here with this privilege, and they got so gassed up off of white media thinking they are better than us after all our ancestors did the work. And I had a quick question too. How do we gatekeep our communities from this crap that's been going on? They're putting these guys in our communities and in our HBCUs. How can we get these people out of these positions and work together as FBAs and start basing things that actually really truly support us? How can we go about doing that?
Well, I'm gonna answer the HPU part. Well, let's do it backwards. And Wani, you can. Well, how about this? Wani, you answer the first part, and then I'll answer the second part.
I think we need to audit these HBCUs and the legacy organizations, number one, to make sure who is who. That's my main issue with anything that we try to do. We just need to find out who is who, because they literally they don't have ethics. It's not part of anything. So when we're being told, hey, don't push this person through, don't hire that kind of person, you have to use these rules. They don't care. They just have their mother up there working on a job or their cousin. They don't care about any of that, and they just wait until the whole thing tumbles down. So that's number one. We have to audit these uh, organizations and schools, and if they don't comply, they need to have whatever they're funding or whatever they're requiring to have. They can't represent us as a Congressional Black Caucus and be talking about immigration problems of foreigners. You must have all of your conversation must be about Black Americans. We built you up and will tear you down. Like I said before, we're the ones who created the environment for these people to immigrate over here, from Frederick Douglass advocating for Chinese people and then Japanese people and then a composite nation where he wanted everyone to come over here. And then, of course, with the Immigration Act, we have been the ones to push these ideas through. And if we built it up, we can tear it down because they were only doing it to satisfy us because it looked like, hey, why can't these other people immigrate? So, no, once we want to tear it down, I can't understand why people keep betting against us. Don't they watch the Olympics? Don't bet against black. Don't bet against black.
Yes, and we need that. Plus, I'm gonna say we need for with historically black college. I was a professor at a historically black college for the last 3.5 years and an administrator, and I saw so much filth, Lou. I saw, oh my, I saw the thing that got my most attention is diasporic children, a little girl from Zimbabwe, um, going to medical school where some of my students that I tutored, like I had a little focus group of foundational Black American kids that were flunked out of those classes, like the classes for medical school, pre-med classes, physics, and the main one was biochem, was dominated by a Nigerian professor. This Nigerian professor bragged that only 5 people get an A in his class. When you're going to medical or dental school, you absolutely need an A in those pre-med classes. And this professor bragged on, I only give 5 A's. I do not give more than 5 A's. Well, damn it, if you make an A, you're gonna get an A. So we need some type of lobbying group at historically black colleges that fucking defend black children, because these foreigners are coming on historically black colleges and taking up not only the pre-med slots and the high GPAs, which I have questions about the integrity of their grades. Not only that, foreigners are taking over our the Greek organizations, which some of them were founded exclusively to bring up the black community. You know what I'm saying? So why is it being taken over? I had a little girl that wanted to be in a sorority that y'all know. I'm not gonna name the sorority, but y'all know it very well. And she had a damn near 4.0 GPA. She was in the military. She was very attractive. She played sports. She played volleyball, and she got bonked out of her slot by a girl from Cameroon. You know what I'm saying? And the girl pledged this sorority and then made fun of her like I made it and you didn't. That turned my stomach. The sorority was created for foundational Black Americans. So we need some legislature. We need some statutes on the books that say, like Wani said, that the certain at a historically Black college, a certain percentage of historically Black students should get these slots. We should have priority to them because they were created for us. In conclusion, these in their homeland in Ghana, they have medical schools, they have law schools. I've been there. I saw them all over. It made me so mad when I was in Ghana. Ghana has a nice medical school and a nice law school. Did I see any foundational Black students in at their med or law school? No.
Okay, one more question, and I'll land my plane. But like I said, even in our neighborhoods, how do we gatekeep our neighborhoods? Because yes, we do have race soldiers, and it gives them a open door to come in and mess with the FBAs too. So how do we go about doing that?
The mayor.
That's, you can, I think what I'm doing is just wait and see how many people get deported and how the dust settles before I make any moves. But yeah, that's gonna be another issue.
I
Call
went to
ICE.
I
Call
went back
ICE.
to Yeah, we do have that option now. Yes, thank you, Fire Nagy. But I went to Birmingham. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I went back to Birmingham years ago. I think Richard, no, what's the guy's name? William Bell was the mayor. Either him or Bernard Kincaid, but it was years ago. I had moved back to Birmingham after school, and I drove to my old neighborhood in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? In the heart of the ghetto, and I'm driving down Sixth Avenue in Birmingham. Those of you who know, and I saw some young men, young black men, on the top of their Chevy. You know, hands up in the air, pants hanging on their butt. They were being getting searched, and I looked at the cops, and the cops who were searching these young men were damn near 21-year-old, blonde headed, blue eyed, aggressive looking police officers. And I saw a problem right there. Why is a 22-year-old blonde headed, blue eyed police officer, why is he patrolling the black neighborhood? We need people patrolling the neighborhood that understands the neighborhood. You don't see black men up in the rich white neighborhood patrolling like that. So these mayors need to have protocols in play that a prerequisite for at-risk neighborhood is the cops need to know the neighborhood. Hell, maybe the cops need to be from the neighborhood.
Thank you, guys.
You welcome. We're gonna go to housing. What's on your mind, housing?
Hey, Professor, good to see you back. Wani, Nikki the God, to everybody in the room, shout out. Professor, you know my
Yes,
take.
sir.
No and no on both tops. And when it comes to the FBA culture, gatekeep, we still letting a lot of individuals that's not from our background be invited to the cookout at the end of the day. And when you mention about the college situation, it's so many of the young brothers and sisters and a lot of the deans down there who runs these places, they just basically like saying forget black America. It's like they more into embracing people from other countries, and they just moving in, and they have this mindset, me, no, no, you. And another thing, if you notice, everybody, all these immigrants, these females, even that Gomez lady, they all crying. What are you crying for? You was good a minute ago. It was all good. You wasn't complaining then. Now when the smoke's coming at you, that fire's getting lit under your ass, you want to cry to us. Nah, we not doing that. We're going to grab Michael Jackson popcorn and we're going to sit back and we're going to let the smoke settle like Wani said. And with that, I'll land my plane.
You said something real powerful, housing. I hope y'all heard what he said. He said these administrators are letting it happen. These administrators, these PhDs at these historically black colleges, as of last year, from my experience, I left in 2024, late 2024. I mean 2000. I'm sorry, 2023, 2 years ago. Um, as of late 2023, um, overwhelming majority of these college administrators at historically black colleges are foundational black American. They're baby boomers, and they think it's cute to put African students ahead of black students. Somebody make that make sense to me. I have not got a clear answer. And some of these folks I've had dinner with, they're not bad people. They just think it's adorable to say, I have watched them skip over Lil Shantae from the hood. I've watched them skip over Lil Ray from the hood that's right across the goddamn street from the college. You know what I'm saying? Skip over him to pick somebody from Zimbabwe. I
They're
don't
being paid.
understand it.
They're being paid.
It's got to be something. That was a theory
So,
that I heard from one of my professor friend. One of my professor friends said, and she lost her job right after I lost mine for helping black kids. one of my she was a PhD English professor. That girl was bad too. She would teach English using Tupac. She would play Tupac and teach alliteration, and them kids fucking loved her. They couldn't wait to get rid of her. But she told me something deep. This professor told me that students that come from the diaspora, Africa and Jamaica and stuff, are not eligible for federal financial aid, FAFSA. Therefore, they have to pay for all their classes in cash. And this professor told me that these administrators like them more than black kids because once they get their hands on cash money, they can do more creative things with cash. You understand what I'm saying? With federal financial aid, that money is audited. It only goes to tuition. Whereas, according to my professor friend, those diasporic members' money goes all kind of places, including on these administrators' plate. You understand me?
Professor, I also think one of the issues in America, even in our community, because we're talking about immigration right now, is that the Black Americans have become so constant, and we've become such a stabilizing force in the United States that that we're taken for granted. And so, what I mean by that is there are Black Americans who basically think that the immigrant is better in many ways because the immigrant comes, the immigrant speaks with a nice tone, but they don't visit these people's countries. They don't see how they live. They don't engage with them. Um, People were saying, I think Housing was asking, why are all these people crying online? Well, they're crying because Black Americans have withdrawn themselves from the political system, which creates a power vacuum. You're no longer under the protection of a strong group of people. So now you have to fight on your own, and they're not used to that. And we are. And they don't know how to do it. They don't know where to start. They're not as unified as the Democratic Party, believes, or other organizations. I had a professor that once told me that Latinos will become a stronger voting bloc. He told me this 20 years ago. And what I told him was, I said, Professor Ricks, I don't think you understand the complexities of Black Americans. It took us hundreds of years to become what we are today, a unified, strong voting bloc. Immigrants are not coming to America to fight any battles. They're coming, to America to just enjoy the fruits of the labor. I mean, they're coming to a Thanksgiving dinner and the food is prepared and it's sitting on the table. They're just ready to sit down and eat. They're not going to wash dishes. They're not going to prepare the turkey. They're not going to, clean the chitlins. They're not here for all that. They're here for a good meal and a good time, and that's it. I'll let my plane.
Yeah, very good. Very good point. Very good point. Let's see. Oh, who was next one?
Oh, go ahead. I don't know who is next. I think from the soil.
Okay, you had some. You had a comment, Wani.
I'll talk after they talk.
Okay, from the river to the sea. What's on your mind?
Hey, Professor, thank you. Thank you for giving me the mic. Uh, I might have a differing view. I'm an African, all the way from West Africa, the Gambia.
Okay,
I've been here for 10 years now.
where is here, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in New York.
Okay, all right.
Well, of
Okay.
course.
Good. So, there is no culture that is perfect. Uh, there is something that you said, like, okay, when students from Africa, diaspora Africa, when they come, so some of the people prefer them more than their own. That is the Black Americans. So I have attended Kingsborough. So throughout my associate to my degree level to my bachelor's, most of the students, the Black students that I have been in class with, most of them dropped out. You know why? Because Africans who come, they go through a lot, they sacrifice a lot. So they, I mean, when they come to this country, they toil for whatever they can in order to get what they are here for.
Well, sir. With all due respect, and don't think I'm being cold by this.
No, let me just say
With
this.
all due respect, shut the fuck up, because he's about to say
So I'm coming.
Black
I'll get there.
Americans. With all
Just
due
listen to me.
Well,
respect,
So the
shut the
country
fuck
with,
up.
here
with
is
all due respect, that violin was adorable, but nobody asked you to come here. What you
okay.
probably should have done is stayed in the Gambia and help that 48% of your population
Wait,
who's in
wait.
poverty. You should have also helped
God,
the
that still is not going to help
the
you.
food insecurity in the
Wait,
Gambia, and you should help defend your women against genital mutilation, which is a
wait,
huge
calm down.
problem in the Gambia.
This will not
Sir,
help.
but don't hear me wrong. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not feeling sorry for you because you're running over here to get an education when when your homeland, which I've seen pictures, it's actually beautiful, needs your help. Stay home and defend your women against genital mutil.
Come
Well,
on.
I just
You
want to
see,
say our being in school is on par
this
with
is not going to
white
help you
men.
fix your problem.
Shh, I'm
We all
not
have
going
our
to
problem.
let these fucking Africans get up here and say that we're all dropping out of school. Our school is on par with white men, and we have 96% of black men not associated with going to jail, 98% of white men not associated with going to jail. So our numbers are just below white men in the country, and you're not going to restructure anything and act like you're doing well because you're not. You're laying in the street in every country that you move in, turning tricks, selling garbage people don't want, laying all over these places. Don't try to act like you're doing it and
So,
you're doing anything. There's a handful of wealthy Africans in these different places going to school, and you're trying to take that little slice and compare it to people in the ghetto. Because what can you do? You can't look good unless you compare your elite to homeless
And
people. That's the only way you can look good.
this is a good interjection. That elite, and I've eaten in their goddamn homes in Ghana.
Professor,
I've eaten in the elite's homes in Ghana and in Togo.
Professor,
That elite, they money ultimately goes back to them selling us. So fuck them too. Uh,
Professor,
Right.
but
Professor,
back to
Let
this.
him finish whatever the hell he's
But
saying.
back to whatever that gentleman's saying. Let's get something straight for you. I'm gonna let him land, but let me get something straight. I don't want to hear about how hard you got it because you ran your ass over here when Gambia, and I'm reading a statistic right now.
this will not help you. Let us.
He thinks
We
we're
talking about.
stupid.
The Gambia has food insecurity. Check this out. In the Gambia, food insecurity is high, especially for women, children, and young people. But he bringing his goddamn ass to New York to go to school. Stay and defend. You know what men do, man? Men defend they goddamn women. Go get your women something to eat and stop trying to get a PhD at my dollar. In the Gambia,
I what
in the Gambia, hunger has increased from 5% to 8% in the last 5 years. But your ass in New York trying to get another
Professor, this
PhD.
won't help. This won't help you either.
And
What
last
you
but
doing won't
not
help you.
least, sir,
What won't help us?
Allow me to talk. This won't help you. I
What's your
mean,
illiteracy
you are
rate?
trying to
What's your
address your problems. You
no. Well, let me address.
Well, I can't see how he can address
He
my.
can't
Your
help me.
women
you
are
have
over there
issues.
selling. Let
You
me
have
tell you
issues.
what the Gambia is doing. The women in the Gambia line up to sell their children's
Forget about.
anuses
Let's
to
talk about.
tourists, to sell toddler anuses to tourists. And
Wow.
they all looked fat. So they didn't look like they had food insecurity. Plus, that's
Ah,
a very lush area where they could get food. So
well, yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
don't understand why they have food insecurity. They eat
You-
anything. They're over
you-
there eating pangolins,
What
and
is that?
that's not even something that you want to eat.
And
So I
isn't
don't
Ghana
know.
closer, Sister Wani? He could have went to
You,
Ghana to go to school.
you guys are so ill educated
Wani?
about
What's
Africa.
your
Ill educated bitch. We have 101 HBCUs. We have more schools than the whole continent. Shut the
No,
hell
I
up.
said you are ill
A lot of them
educated
have a
about
lot of
I'm
Africa.
not ill
Hold on.
educated.
Since we want to talk,
You're
let's.
not coming out of a fucking hut and saying nothing to me. So shut up.
Oh yeah,
don't
let.
they have a lot of fake degrees though?
Oh,
A lot
I'm
of them don't
glad
make
you
sense.
made it
totally,
to civilization
totally,
because your
totally.
women are over there breastfeeding goats
Last
and
time,
you're not saying anything to me.
last time I was professing at a historically black college, we dismissed the Nigerian professor for lying about his shit. But since he want to get all, tell us what we're ill and how ill educated we are, let me hit you with some statistics, my friend. Let's look, ladies and gentlemen, if you would look in the jumbotron at this statistic I'm gonna read. It says the Gambia faces many problems, including poverty, hunger, and human rights issues. Let's look at some statistics on poverty and hunger. Poverty: 48% of the population, total population, live in hunger. in poverty. Hunger has increased from 5% to 8% in the last 5 years. But his ass in New York, malnutrition, 10.3% of the population have acute malnutrition. That's a damn shame. But he over in New York getting a
Now
degree.
talk about the literacy rates because they like to bring their little ugly behinds over here and talk down on people because you're doing better than people in the Gambia.
Right.
We're not in the Gambia, dum dum. Do you even know where you are?
Last but not,
We're not your fellow Gambians. So don't wag your African finger at anybody.
and I
You
got
don't have the right.
let's look at this last thing right here. Look at the health disparity, health infrastructure in the Gambia. It says the health infrastructure is inadequate, hygiene and the quality control do not meet U.S. standards. Check this out. A lot of people like him use that to their advantage to get accepted to medical schools like Howard Medicine and Meharry and our dear historically black medical schools that our students need to go to. People like him will write a letter stating that statistic that we don't have good health infrastructure. I need this MD so I can go back home and help my people. And we will accept his ass on scholarship. And when he gets that MD, he stays his stupid ass in New York and
Well, we're not
wags
going to
his
be
finger
doing
in our
that anymore.
faces.
That's going out the window. All these visa overstays and all these
Okay,
students,
Professor, I
they're
think now you
being
will allow me
chased
to say
around
something.
like wild animals.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us some more
Yeah. More
lies.
lies, please, sir.
Trump
No, Professor. Okay, please let us listen to each other. If you had listened to me properly, you wouldn't have
I
been
don't
saying
need
all
to
the things.
listen to you at all. You're
What I
you're
said
getting
is,
we're
please,
doing you a
please,
favor
Sir,
to
yeah, yeah.
entertain your
You seems
bastard
like you're
weaver
talking to me,
please
mentality.
listen. Let me
Professor.
say something, please. I
You're
beg.
not in a position to give us any type of order, sir. You're our guest. Do you understand that?
That's why I said please. I said please, Professor. I said please.
Please, can you insult people and talk to them like they're
I did not
stupid?
insult anybody.
You've been
Professor, what
insulting
I
people
said
since you
is,
got up here.
okay, please allow me to say this. Professor, what I said is, I said you are ill educated about Africa. I didn't say you are ill educated.
He's
I
No,
not
never
we're
ill
said that.
not.
educated.
We're more educated about it than
There
you
you go with
are.
the insults again.
Sir, I just put a statistic up about the Gambia. I didn't make that up. That's a
You see,
statistic.
if you ask me about some of those things, I know more than what is written.
No,
What
you
is written?
don't.
You see, that's that griot shit. That's some of that griot shit. I don't want to hear word of mouth, man. I want to see statistics from a university. That's
Professor,
how we do it
you
here.
know what is important? For me, I'm praying that
Look up the
you
literacy
get
rate because
you
these
get the
people are
reparation,
out of
you
control.
get it from
I
America, and
don't
you get it
want
from
you to say anything about reparations. You don't want us to
that's number
have
one.
it.
Number two, please just allow me. Listen, please.
No, I don't want your support. Go away.
Okay, but listen to me. Even if you have, I mean, divergent views with somebody, listen to each other. You don't know what I'm going to say. You might learn something, even if I'm saying trust. Just listen to my trust.
No, you have a hive
Sir,
mind. This is why we said Africa was one country. This is why. Because you have a hive mind and
Professor,
you
can
always
you,
say the same thing and have said the same things the whole time.
and
You
sir,
don't have independent
Professor,
thoughts.
can we have? Okay, I
Sir,
cannot.
sir, sir, in a scholarly environment, nobody gives a damn what I think or what you think is what you can prove. I stated some statistics showing that your homeland is struggling, and I made the assertion that given the fact that you seem like an intelligent person and you are a man, you should not have your ass in New York. You should be in the Gambia. They need you. Your women need you to protect them. They need you to find some food, man. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean
Professor,
I would not leave the women in America. They need my help right now. So that's all I'm trying to tell you, bro. Last but not least, don't come at me with what you know. Come at me with what you can prove. I posted some statistics. Post some counter statistics. Would you please, sir? A couple more words, and we're gonna move on to the next speaker. You go ahead and land from the river to the sea.
uh, no, you don't allow me to say anything.
I'm
You should
about
be
to.
more like
I'm
Burkina
about to remove.
Faso. Burkina Faso, none of the men in Burkina Faso left their
Okay,
women.
okay, give me
You
one
should be
minute.
more
Let's
like
not
those
be
people
ignorant.
over there.
Give me
Those are
one
some
minute.
real brothers. You should be
Okay.
like more like the people in Burkina Faso. You
Oh,
sounding like
that.
a coward right now. Get the hell off on get your ass out of here.
Okay.
Exactly. Next.
Professor, the first thing he does, Professor, is get on here and talk about how black
Oh,
Americans
what's up,
dropped that.
housing, my brother? I didn't even see you. What's up,
Uh,
housing?
Yo, what's up, brother? That's the first thing he does, Professor, is take shots at Black America. Soon as he get up here, go back to Gambia, and let me tell you something about Gambia, right? My peoples is moving over there. She got property over there and everything. Her husband died. You know what the husband's sister did? Stole her property.
Wow.
That's how Gambia gives it up.
That's all they do is
Yeah,
They
steal.
all the Africans
thievery.
do that.
Jesus.
So don't come over here taking shots at Black America, talking about what education you achieved down there in the BX in the Bronx, and you talking about how many Black Americans dropped out. You couldn't wait to say that. How dare you, you piece of shit?
And we didn't, so
Hey,
there's
while
that.
while he
Oh,
while he getting those arts and letters, the women getting their thing mutilated. He ought to be ashamed of himself. He need to be over there protecting those women. That's what a man does, is protect women. You understand me? Don't come over here to New York talking about how you doing better than me when you ain't protecting your females. Fuck you. Get off my stage. Who's
He's
next?
talking about dropping out of college, and his people don't have a kindergarten education or a bunch of institutions for education.
Right.
That's the part that's insane. He's trying to, this is just like the same thing with the Jamaicans trying to compare track events. We're in all the sports in the Olympics. We have over 900 gold medals, and you want to talk about how you did something in one track race. That's the same mentality. They just want to beat us. They don't even care if it's an exhibition game and we didn't even care to win and came back and slam dunked in their face. They're going to still talk about how they were some points up in the game. That's how big we are. They just want to get some points up on us in a game or win an exhibition game. They don't care how they get any kind of win, even when it's not a win.
It's jealousy and obsession. Like I'm just
It's
not
obsession.
I'm not over the fact that the infrastructure in this country is crumbling. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to go there, but I'm gonna go there.
He has an infrastructure?
Yeah, what
I didn't even know that
an
much.
infrastructure based off the slave trade. According to Dr. John Henry Clark, the Gambia is a fast mill nation that was created with the exclusive purpose of selling slaves. So fuck him again. Um,
God.
yeah, and gonna talk about our dropout rate, and he going to one of our goddamn schools. These people, man, these people are amazing. Paris, what's on your mind? And we'll go to Miss Lynn next.
Hi, good evening, Professor Nikki and and Wani. How are you this evening?
Doing well on
I
yourself.
just thank you.
Peace.
Peace to you guys, lovely ladies. I just wanted to piggyback on what he just said. I'm here in New York, and I have two friends that sit on the board of admissions, one at Columbia, one at NYU, and there is a tendency for Africans to come here. The children, they're born here. A lot of them, some not, but on the applications they choose to identify as African Americans, and this does take seats away from people of our lineage. And I wanted to know, I know it's just not New York. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that, because I believe it's probably happening in other institutions. So
Hmm.
thank you.
Yes,
I think it's about to end. I think a lot of these things are going down in flames for them. The more we talk about the 14th Amendment and how they're not part of it, it's just going to make it easier for us to define ourselves with the ONB.
yes, I've seen this happen for years in my career. I'm at a PWI now, but the best years of my academic life so far was at a historically black college, and I, as a professor and administrator, and I saw a lot of things I didn't like that I really didn't understand, which is Paris is why I'm on Spaces. I kind of migrated here to try to get an explanation because the books weren't telling me. But yeah, I've seen that game saying they're African American, or even worse, cosplaying African American to pledge African American sorority or fraternity, then getting on the board of selection on these fraternities and sororities and blocking out black Americans from a goddamn institution that was created for them. I'm sick of it. Back to the 14th Amendment. I'm grateful that Trump, which I never thought I would ever say, but I'm grateful that Trump made the move of blocking birthright citizenship, because I teach two sections of constitutional law, and to my pro se understanding, if you look back at history, the games have always been played with the 14th Amendment to gatekeep it away from black Americans. And I mean games played on high by the Supreme Court of the time. But ultimately, I think there's a good chance that when so basically what happened, ladies and gentlemen, is Trump. There's a system of checks and balances between the three branches. A lot of you know that: executive, legislative, and judicial. So the way it goes is Trump made his chess move with executive and said, "Nope, don't want birthright citizenship." And an article, we call them Article 3 judges. So an Article 3 judge made his move, probably a Democrat. I looked at the state, it was a Democratic state. He made his move and filed TRO. That means temporary restraining order, temporary until it goes on judicial review. It's going on review in Trump's Supreme Court. What do you think they're going to say? You see where I'm going with this? Should they come back and affirm Trump, it's going to become law. And the 14th Amendment, baby, belongs to us once more.
Can I ask you a quick question, real quick, and then I get off the stage?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Do you think that it's going to be retroactive?
Oh, I
Um,
don't know. It could slip. That's a good question. I don't
I
know.
think it was
most people,
February like 5th, 2025.
most people said no. I don't know. Any opinions, people on the stage?
Yeah, February 5th, I think, or something like that, 2025. All births before, after February something,
So
2025.
not retroactive. Okay.
I think to my pro se understanding, this is my pro se understanding. I think it goes off the date moving forward. I think it's been
Yeah.
years since I
But
looked at this
here's
one.
the issue. If someone uh okay, so someone had a child and they weren't citizens, and then that person has this citizenship, isn't that wouldn't be addressed?
I don't, if I understand you
Some of
correctly.
these things are a little bit some of these things are just going to have to wait because I don't know, you know.
I
Well,
think what they're focusing on is the clause owing allegiance to,
Yes.
because the people who come here illegally are not owing allegiance to the United States. Slaves, because they were emancipated, meaning transferred to the property of the United States government, were owing allegiance to the United States and no other nation because they basically our lineage never existed anywhere else. And so
Why are we worried about this, but we're not asking questions about the Italians that come over here and have
Why is your
kids?
mouth
hold
running?
on.
Why are
Why are
you
you talking
bumble
out of
mouth
turn, sir? Do
ass?
you know where you are?
No, I
We
know exactly where I am. A
we're
bunch of
not
fools.
we.
A bunch of
Hold on,
fucking
hold on.
fools.
We.
I got this one.
No, don't worry. Don't take my mic. Don't
You're
take my
Hey,
just
mic. Let's
watch
have
me.
a real
Well, I'm gonna
conversation.
treat
we.
you like a little boy and take your mic because you are a little
You a
boy.
whole HBCU fucking alone.
I removed his ass.
You
I
removed
remove
them
you like
because
a
you a
child.
coward. You removed them because you a coward. That's why you removed them.
I
What?
swear to God, these coconuts
You a
just going
Who's
coward.
in
crazy in the
there?
space.
You a
Hey,
coward.
yo,
Why?
he calling me a coward, and I don't see his face.
Why are y'all
They're
in here?
very
Yeah,
angry
because
about this
they upset.
Y'all
upgrade.
sound like a bunch of black Neanderthals. That's what
Uh-huh.
y'all sound
You
Ralph
like.
the
sound like you
Roach,
order
please go
switches
back
off of
down to the
Amazon. You
gulag,
sound like
Ralph the
you on an
Roach.
asthma tank right now.
Hey,
Shut your ass up.
since I'm a coward, I blocked and removed his faceless ass. That's my real name. My
Go win
real
your conference then, Ralph the Roach. The Miami Hurricanes got them U's upside down, nigga. Go win your conference before you come up here talking about black Americans. Go fix your country, nigga. Haiti looking real bad for you, sir. You used to be.
Oh yeah, he
Yep.
did sound like a Haitian.
Yeah, he's from Miami. Yeah, I know
they,
him. He's
they
Haitian.
triggered today, man. I love it.
They're very triggered. The ice is running
Joe
them
Biden,
upside the
Obama,
walls.
bro. I'm not going back. Get your ass out of here.
Yes, you are.
Get
Hey,
your
man.
ass out of here.
Hold on. Look at Drew down there with his hand up like a little boy. Requested. Talking
You
tough.
gonna leave
Hey,
here?
Yeah, that.
he talking tough. Now he crisscross applesauce waiting on the professor to pick on him. Young man, get your motherfucking ass to the corner. Let's see.
Yeah, that's Ralph the Roach right there, a Miami Hurricanes fan that ain't never won shit. Sit your ass up down there, nigga.
I just wrote his ass up. Anyway.
Professor,
Is he still
professor.
in
Yeah,
here?
he down there with his hand up.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Get it. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 Eat the cat.
Okay, that was funny.
Professor.
Hey, Wani, I'm so glad Miss Beautiful ain't here.
Oh my
It's
God.
all good. It's all good.
Hey,
Perfect
professor.
timing. Go
Professor.
ahead. What's up, bro?
What's the deal with the Gomez? What is she, a singer?
I
Yes,
What's the
something
deal with
like
her,
that.
Wani?
But
She was crying because she said, "My people are getting treated badly. They're being abused." And then, everybody wanted to cuss me out and say she's not a Mexican. Well, she said her people, and she is Mexican of sorts. Or either she's lying about, who knows? These people just, they all look the same to me. They're just blah colored with brown hair. I don't have time to figure out which kind of Italian, Mexican, Puerto Rican they are. I don't care anymore. Just get out.
And
Just
also,
leave.
Wani,
So she,
the lady was talking about the 14th Amendment, about they coming to get us. Was
yeah,
she
yeah, yeah, yeah.
together?
Yeah, she was Arab and something, and what she was doing was she's a lying hoe, basically. She
Right.
was going around pretending to be, oh, I'm a black American, and my friend who's a black American with Jamaican heritage, she got in trouble with ICE. She was detained. I don't care. I don't care. That's not black Americans. And if you're laying up with somebody that could be detained, then you might get detained. That's the way it works. If I was laying up with some Mexican guy that was illegal, what do you think's going to happen to me? My
Nine
stuff's
tenths
going to
of
get
the law is
shook up.
possession. Nine
My
tenths
life
of
could,
the law.
my life could be temporarily shaken up. And that's what they're doing. But none of those people in her conversation were black Americans at all.
now a good question was asked I mean, about 10 minutes ago about retroactive law, and something stuck in my head. But there's a lot of disruption came on the stage, from foreigners. But anyway, what I thought of was the 1985. It seems unrelated, but it is the 1985 the Gun Act, the Firearms Owners Protection Act. So basically, in America, you could own a machine gun. Um, Back in 1985, like people were bringing their M16s home from Vietnam and whatnot. But anyway, long story short, under the Reagan administration, a law was passed to say, hey, we can't have machine guns. I think it's because of the shootouts in Miami between the FBI and like cartels and that type of thing. They're like, nope, no more machine guns. But the people who had machine guns already were grandfathered in. I knew somebody whose granddaddy had a Tommy gun and he used to shoot it all the time in Alabama. So I think, in my pro se opinion, don't take this as any type of legal advice, but in my pro se opinion, as far as I believe, um, it would be grandfathered in from that point forward. That's usually the way it goes. Miss Djibouti.
Wait, I thought Juicy was next.
Oh, I'm sorry, Juicy. Go ahead.
Dang. Yeah. Go ahead, Juicy.
What?
Go ahead, girl.
Where is Miss
I was
Djibouti on
like,
this
I'm
stage?
like, I didn't
Hell
see,
no,
you
my
know.
brain about to fry if she get to talking.
Yeah, why is this thing talking? Where
Well,
is it? I don't see
well,
it
can
on the
y'all hear me
stage.
okay? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, Juicy. Go ahead.
Sorry. I didn't see nobody else hand up, so I was like, maybe he sees something that I don't
No, he
see,
was
but
talking about, no, it's somebody who requested. Go ahead. Sometimes it gets confusing, right? Like you'll think somebody is on stage, but they really just requested. But
oh,
go
oh,
go
I
I,
see.
ahead.
I had my I had
Okay.
my hand up real
Thank
quick.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Paris, I want to
I'm
hear what
sorry.
you say.
I had my hand up. Maybe you didn't see it. I just wanted to, because you brought the 14th Amendment. We were talking about retro. The
Oh,
reason I
hold
just
on.
wanted. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Paris. You don't know. We have a rule on this, on our space, where we go with new speakers first. So we're gonna. I promise I'm coming back to you next. But let's let Juicy
Okay.
land her plane. I'm coming back to you. Go ahead, Juicy.
Well, hey, everybody, peace to the family, peace and power
Hey,
to you, all
sis.
the
Go
descendants.
ahead.
Shout out to the host, co-host, and everyone else in the space. I really just came in to ask a question because I came in pretty late, but I didn't know if someone had played the audio from President Donald Trump in regards to the 14th Amendment being specifically for the descendants of the enslaved on record at a press conference. If not, I'd like to play the audio for the space, for the people in the space, and kind of wrap the room
Okay.
around.
Please,
Yes,
please
I've
please,
heard
play it.
it.
please.
Yes, it
Play
I
it.
sounds
Play
I've
it
beautiful.
heard it,
twice.
and we all.
Thank
I
you.
heard it and we all need to hear it again.
Come on with it,
Okay.
Juicy. Thank you.
Thank you,
Play
Play
it,
it,
Juicy.
Queen.
sister.
Play it for the sarcastic immigrants on stage.
And look at the timing of it.
God
So I
bless
just wanted to
Donald
like
Trump.
double back.
God bless Trump.
Hey,
So I'll put that in the Jumbotron so everybody can listen to that, all the descendants. When I said earlier that we are going to be elevated to a platform of global attention because of this particular election and this particular presidency. No other president has really gone to the extent of focusing specifically on those people who have descended from enslavement. They're really getting down to the law and the exploitation of the law. Um, or the misinterpretation. And so that we had the left saying, oh, this is a misinterpretation. He doesn't get it. He's old and he's senile. No, no, no. We're talking about people who have been constitutionally embedded. We are in the Constitution. Laws have been on record for us. And if you are a foundational Black American and you have not read the 14th Amendment or any other constitutional amendment or just the Constitution, read it. There's laws in there that are specifically for us. Even if you have, native ancestry, look at that. If you want to take that route, go ahead and take that route. It's for you. If you want it to be for you, that's fine. A lot of us, we're not doing that. Just because I have Native American ancestry doesn't mean that I'm trying to make a claim about Native ancestry tribal governments. I have no interest in that. I've been Black American since I've been here. Every single document, all my records show that, and I'm going to stay in this lane. But I just wanted to say that those who were last shall be first, and those who were first shall be last. And it is written that way for a specific reason. So this is when we need to be much more vocal in regards to our plight because we are being acknowledged and laws about us have been presented on a global stage at this point. So I just want to make sure that we use sound bites that are specifically for us to protect us and to acknowledge us, that we also use that to say, hey, since you acknowledging us, let's go ahead and get these reparation claims together. There's some things that haven't been executed within the Constitution for us, or things that have been removed unconstitutionally to continue to suppress us or oppress us or keep us in a subservient state in the United States. And let's go ahead and atone for the wrongs. Let's make it right. With this election, we can make it right. So I just wanted to make that comment. I'll go ahead and leave it in the purple pill. And if you guys want to put in Jumbotron, you can. But anything else y'all can send me, please. I want to make sure that, what's happening for Black America right now, this is historic. This is historic. Obama didn't even do this.
I wanted to
I yield my
I
mic.
wanted to add something from I teach this stuff. I'm teaching 14th Amendment in 2 weeks to my students. I teach two sections of con law. And I wanted this, this isn't legal advice. We're just talking about historical reference. If just in case of my dear space didn't know, the 14th Amendment overturned the Dred Scott case. So Dred Scott was a black man who argued in a court of law that he needed to be treated like a human, and lost. Well, the 14th Amendment overturned the Dred Scott case by granting citizenship to all people born in the United States. It was done with intent of admitting formerly enslaved peoples into the dignity of a United States citizen. That was original intent, in my pro se opinion. If the 14th Amendment clearly reads, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. If you look at it in context of the Dred Scott decision, of which it overturned, baby, it was for us. It belongs to us. I yield my mic.
Professor, check your inbox real fast.
Roger that. Go ahead, Eric John.
All right, thank you, Professor, for letting me speak on this wonderful space. And those buttheads who came in here earlier, this just goes to show you that they shaking in their boots when it comes to this deportation situation. Besides, these unstable creatures not worrying about their homelands, they can now get in tune. Well, some of their family members can get in tune to go back to their countries and actually be about their life. Countries in the Caribbean, Africa, especially you white Europeans, y'all ain't avoiding this neither. Some of y'all vodka drinking, potato skin shaving bastards need to go back over there and tell y'all presidents, especially the Ukrainian one who keeps snorting up kilos every night, that your money is about to be stopped. Hopefully, it don't lead to anything tragic happening on our end. But this just goes to show you that real brothers and sisters are tired of these illegal aliens of all sorts, not just the Mexicans coming into the country and just making everything harder than a crackhead trying to get a 10 piece on a Monday. But this just goes to show you that real people are going to be doing real things. And I do want to say something about the question: must FBAs help immigration? No, we need to help with deportation, and they definitely do need to pass, this you know, deportation funding, so we can start getting paid for this in each state. And it shouldn't
Amen,
be a
brother.
yeah, thank you, brother. It shouldn't be a challenge, and it shouldn't be hard for them to do, since they already rounded them up like burnt fries out of a damn oven and just throwing them in the trash. And this just goes to show you that you have all the energy to be out here protesting, talking about you don't want to go back to your homeland. They just make your countries look bad. You even had the president of Mexico talking that cash money shit. And you see how Trump just laid the smackdown on the president of Colombia. He hit him with a couple of rock bottles, about two or three stone cold stunners, and told him, look, motherfucker, if you don't take these illegal aliens back, it's going to be consequences and repercussions. They definitely do need to cut off foreign aid funding for all these countries until they take these illegal aliens back, and definitely try to rehabilitate these people like El Salvador is doing. You need to keep the same standards like they should. Those folks down there are getting right when it comes to their criminal class. They got these folks out here, in the worst harsh conditions in prison. Next thing they coming out, with holy water all over them, just trying to walk the righteous way right about now. They done took the tattoos off their face. They ain't out here throwing up any more gang signs. They trying to be real people of society. And I suggest that a lot of these foreign nations, take their resources, and when these folks come back to your homeland, show them how you definitely get down in your countries, and hopefully that they can, start building toilets and, just start crushing and just breaking down white Jesus statues. But I'm gonna land my plane there.
All right, we're going to go quickly to Paris. She's been waiting patiently. She had a comment. Go ahead, Paris.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep you guys, but I just wanted to, when I brought up the retro and then the morons showed up in your room and disrupted. One of them brought up the Italians. This is my point. He tried to, but he was trying to be disruptive at the same time. Wouldn't it be something? Because I was thinking, if let's say it was retro, can you imagine? For me, for example, like in my pin, all the racists on my job, right? They're first generation. Their parents came from Italy, Greece, Russia. These people were born here. A lot of them were educators, right? And their parents came from another country. And nine times, and they're not, because the law says, I believe, Professor, from what I've been reading, you have to have one parent that was legal at the time of the birth, and many of them don't. And these are the same ones that come here and spread hatred and racism and on the jobs. I don't know if Trump's going to go back that far, but wouldn't that be just monumentous? I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
I
Yeah,
hope he do. I hope he do.
it's real interesting what you're saying, because in my pro se opinion, it's not legal advice. This is just my opinion. I don't think the 14th Amendment was created for the scenarios that you brought up. It was created for us to eliminate the blemish of slavery. And let me give y'all a little scholarship to clear up what I'm saying. If you look, Dr. Howard Zinn talks about the first game that was played with the 14th Amendment. When the Fourth Amendment came down, a very racist Congress tried to get in the way of it, and argued something so ridiculous. Um, the Congress argued that I'm not Congress. I'm sorry, Supreme Court. The Supreme Court argued that that um, the 14th Amendment had to do with businesses, because businesses are considered a person, a natural person, which is fucking ridiculous. But um, basically, the I'm trying to think of a way of saying this. The law, to my pro se understanding, the law considers a business like a corporation of one natural person. So check this out. According to Dr. Howard Zinn, very soon, quote, very soon after the 14th Amendment became law, right, to protect us, the Supreme Court began to demolish it as a protection for blacks. Let me say that shit one more time. The Supreme Court began to demolish it as a protection for blacks and to develop it as a protection for corporations. However, in 1877, a Supreme Court decision, Munn versus Illinois, y'all can look that up. That's MUN, Mike, MUNN versus Illinois, approved state laws regulating the prices to charge the farmers for use of grain elevators. Basically, the racist Supreme Court at that time was looking for a way to keep blacks unprotected. And games have been played. Look at the slippery slope of games being played to kind of hide the ball away from black people, even though it was, in my pro se opinion, intended for us. Games have been played to keep it away from us. Like, okay, no, no, no. It's very important that we understand that first they played the shit with businesses. That didn't work. So now, okay, well, it's for immigrants. No, 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 it's for this, it's for that, it's for that. Just hide the ball. And what Trump is doing is saying, nope, it was for blacks. Just that simple.
Amen, brother.
I think
So I figured out why the ops came in here, and I'm gonna show you in a minute, Professor.
Roger that.
Yeah, I sent you some too, Nikki. I just wanted to let you know.
I think Mr. X is up. Mr. X, what's on your mind, bro?
Peace to the room. Always good to see y'all. Just wanted to contribute to the topic questions. Um, First, I just want people to ask themselves this question, just knowing the history of Hispanic people and how the people who were here during Jim Crow were actively discriminating against us. Um, and the ongoing litigation they have against them in California where they're discriminating against Black Americans. Just ask yourself, like, would they do the same thing for you if you were in this same situation? And then I guess you could come up to the conclusion from what I think, because I think we all know logically the answer that you would come up with. Um, and is FBA gate culture gate kept? I specifically came up here to talk about this because I don't believe it's being gate kept. There is a whole movement on TikTok called Hillman Talk, where they're basically giving out our culture to everybody and their mama for free. And they have tethers talking about hip hop. They have Africans teaching about root work. Um, so yeah, our culture is not being gatekept. As a matter of fact, it's being um, it's basically being accessible to any and everybody, and I feel like that gives people room to come in and take advantage and exploit, because that's what other people um, usually do when they learn about our stuff.
Well, I hope that the main thing that happens with our culture, and we'll talk about it when the other people on the stage speak. I know it's a very global culture that everybody wants to participate in and wants to get a piece of it. But all I want to do is make sure they know whose culture they're copying, because all of the BS about, oh, that's American culture or we got it from Britney Spears and all the rest of it, that's going out the window. And I think this 14th Amendment conversation is extremely foundational for us to really get the gatekeep on, because at this point, they can't say anything. They can't say, well, I'm a descendant of this or that, so I'm just like you. So this is opening up the door for us to um, define exactly what our ethnicity is. And we do have an ethnicity, even though no one wants to respect it. The reason they don't respect it is because for hundreds of years, we were put into a position where we had to accept everyone.
Preach.
We had to accept them when they came in. We didn't have the option to say, hey, I don't want to work with this person from Mali. I'm from Senegal. We didn't do that. Everybody came in, everybody was stripped down,
Teach.
told not to speak in their native tongues, whatever they were. And so we've been doing this the whole time, accepting people in. That's what we're all about. And so, of course, it's hard to turn the tide. What we've realized as globalization has taken over, we see that these people have themselves defined to the umpteenth. People that we think look alike, oh no, they have nuclear weapons pointed at each other. You don't want to confuse an Indian with a Pakistani. You don't want to confuse a Chinese person with a Korean. Oh no, they'll flip their switch. They're not going to allow that. And so now we must do it because we've got people coming here saying, I'm Black American with Jamaican lineage. We've got people saying that, but I could never go to any of these countries. Not that I would because I have a strong culture, but I couldn't go there and say, oh, I'm Jamaican now. I'm over here in Jamaica. I'm Jamaican now. I know, but they have such weak identities that they will literally go over to Ireland and start calling themselves Irish, even going so far as to fussing with Irish people, standing outside on a podium, fussing, telling Irish people that they don't know what Irishness is. So, as I said before in other rooms, they're doing way more than Jewish people ever did just before the Holocaust.
Yeah, it's
Jewish people never did anything like this.
it,
They were just minding their own business for the most part, living regular lives. And of course, there's always things going on behind the scenes that people don't like with that particular group. But they were never standing on podiums talking all the smack that I hear people talking in these other people's countries. They were never doing that.
yes.
And so I don't know where that's headed. Go
Yes,
ahead.
so civility is, and I think Ken Burns, the documentarist, said this, but he was right. Civility is just a veneer, like on your teeth. It's just a little bitty little cover. It's pretty, but below that you have all the rot and decay of the human condition, and they're playing. It's like some ignorance going on with these cultures. They act like the gentleman that came in yesterday, Wani. They act childish. Like it's like you don't comprehend that you're playing with fire. You dancing a match around some kerosene. You know what I'm saying? But it's very thin. But Wani, when you were saying that speech, I heard a bugle playing. It was beautiful, and what in my mind, it was very spiritual what you were saying, and the reason why they've always tethered upon the Black American culture is because of the condition. Dr. Claude Anderson in page 10 and 11 of Black Labor, White Wealth, which is a must buy to everybody in this room, says, quote, slaves were intentionally kept without hope. A slave's life was committed to producing wealth and comfort for white masters. The slaves suffered in silence. That has been our MO. That's been the plan for the Black American is to produce wealth and suffer in silence and be kept without hope. Now here goes the fucked up part. If you look at the hierarchy I have in the jumbotron, the feudal chart, different groups were allowed to amalgamate into that second group, the nobility. First, it was English slave owner class white men. Now, the first wave of immigration came with Captain James Oglethorpe. There's a college named after him in Buckhead called Oglethorpe that Black Americans go to. I don't know why, but what do I know? Anyway, the third wave were the Irish and Italians, who I mind this room were not considered white when they got here. They were allowed to amalgamate into whiteness. The fourth wave were Hispanic and Arabs, which, according to several sources, were not allowed to amalgamate in whiteness. But Wani, you were going to tell us why the Arabs and Hispanics were not allowed to amalgamate into whiteness.
All right, let me ask you something then.
Hold on, why are you talking? Why? No,
Well,
really, why are you
wait a
talking?
minute. Who
I
is
said
this?
Wani. I didn't say.
I just wanted to ask a
And
question.
I'm not ready for you yet, sir. Can you wait until
Who is he? I forget
Okay,
this
sure. Okay, sure.
I
person.
don't know, but he's a little too jumpy for me. So the question on Wani,
Yeah,
why?
I can.
Go ahead.
Okay, so in order to be white You basically have to abandon your culture and become English by proxy. Just you're not allowed to do the things that you normally do or boast about them. The only person who does that, who has been accepted into whiteness, is the Italian. The Italians still like to brag about their cultures because they have a very, they have the Greco-Roman Empire, so they're not going to easily sweep under Englishness
Right.
like the others. The other people just don't fight for their Viking heritage or their Slavic, Polish heritage. They don't fight like that. Now, we've already discussed the Russians. They're like a loose cannon. They can't sweep under. And uh, the Hispanic and the Arab have failed. They both tried to be white. They were even listed as Caucasian in different places. Even on their little ethnicity thing, they had them listed as Caucasian here and there. However, the problem with the Latino becoming white is that they have too many people that look black. So that's a problem. It's almost like you can't shoehorn all these Negroes in here. Your range of colors is unacceptable. That's problem number one. Problem number one, because they're really just like us and white people, but we make a clear distinction. Like, if you look white, even though we know you might have 10% black, we're not gonna, you're not part of our group. We kind of don't do that. And white people that are passing are trying to stay the hell away from us. And they'll even make a big stink and act extra, extra Ku Klux Klanish.
Like
It-
J. Edgar Hoover,
right,
y'all.
right. So we have a history of not having a range that goes all the way to white. So anyway, they don't like their range of colors. So they don't want to accidentally have some, chocolate brown man running around calling himself white. That would be very off putting. So that's number one. Number two, they keep complaining. Okay? So they never stop complaining. If you want to be white, you have to shut the hell up. You can't sit there at the Academy Awards and say, how come an Irish person didn't get anything? How come an Italian person, you just get happy when you do win an award for your mafia movie. You get happy when you win an award for your My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but you don't sit there talking about why are you discriminating against me. But the Latino does. It sits there and it complains to us. It complains to everybody. Mostly they complain to us, telling us we should give them a piece of the pie. How do we do that? We get an Academy Award and we cut part of it off and hand it to them. What does that even mean? But we were told to do that. They bitch and moan. They come up here complaining about roles that they have to play. Well, why can't we play Latina roles? I don't want to play a black person. Well, get the hell out of here. Goodbye. Who asked you to drag your ass over here to take our roles and then complain about them? Are you out of your mind? Because that's what they've been doing. They come up here, they look black, they take our roles, and then complain that they don't get to be Latino. Well, it's not a Latino role. Sorry, you don't have anyone popular to play. That's your fault for not developing your group. So that's why they can never be white because of their color range and their bitching and moaning and generally being a pain in the ass and trying to make everybody speak Spanish when we're not going to do it. In fact, they're going to be all on the hot banana boat smoking out of here. Arabs, uh, kind of the problem with Arabs is they don't complain that much, but they blow everybody's arms off whenever they get mad. So with that background, uh-uh, you're not going to be white. See, they tried to make him white. Remember that Rolling Stone cover where they had that white boy that blew everybody up at that marathon? They had him on the
And
front
I
cover
never
talking about,
understood why they had him on the fucking
yeah,
cover of Rolling
they
Stone.
don't care. They don't care. They don't care if you blow everybody's arms off and kill everybody. They like Bonnie and Clyde. They just walked into banks and shot everybody. People were unarmed, and they made them into kings and queens. So they don't care that that man was murderous. People got on him for that. They want to make these people white, But the general population is not having it because of their violence and their violent attacks and their religion. It's just not white enough.
Wow, that's deep, Wani. And so, ladies and gentlemen, back to the hierarchy. Back according to history again.
Hey, can I add
Can you
something? Can
can
I
you
add
be
something?
quiet while I'm talking? You're not FBA. What's your lineage, sir? Because if you were a black man, your grandmama would have said, "Sit your ass down while grown folk talking. Wait for us to finish."
I'm Jamaican, brother.
Oh, of course. You white
Oh,
dude.
he was that one that was lying about being Jamaican the other. I
No,
don't even.
I'm Jamaican, Wani. And
I don't
yesterday,
care. I don't
Hey,
care.
I'm
no,
gonna ask you to shut up one more time, or I'm gonna block and remove you because I'm trying to talk.
all right, my bad, my bad.
I don't believe he's anywhere near melanated. But anyway, back to my point. If you look back to the hierarchy in the jumbotron, to recap, the first immigration was a weapon, ladies and gentlemen. It was a very clever weapon developed by Captain later General James Oglethorpe of Her Majesty's England, a nasty little creep. Well, the first wave.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't really agree with that.
Hey, check this out. Get the fuck off my space.
What
Stupid
is
nigger.
he? What is he talking about? And
Stupid
then he's
nigger.
going to say he loves
I
us
trick I
after
tr- I
calling him a
triggered
nigger. I just don't even know what to
yeah,
do with that
hey
idiot.
man, that don't hurt my feelings, man. I had the power to get rid of you. And check this out, ladies and gentlemen. He was triggered because he knows that I know him better than he knows himself, and he can't hit me. He can't say nothing about it. And check this out. In 2025, he can't shut me up. I'm telling the truth about his ass. The first, like I was saying before that imbecile got up here and tried to interrupt me, the first wave was Captain James Oglethorpe. He sent a wave of whites, degenerates. Not my words, words of academic canon. The academic canon calls them degenerates, calls them debtors, debtor colony. It calls them, I think, pedophiles. Some books call them, and mentally defective. This is not my words. These are words of academic canon, but they were what you would consider white. The second wave in the 1800s were Irish and Italians who amalgamated into whiteness. Wani, the irony of the Italians being amalgamated into whiteness is that they are of that culture, that Greco-Roman culture that you talked about, is Etruscan. Ladies and gentlemen, look up Etruscan. They are jet black, big, full, beautiful lips and coarse hair. So the argument is that Italian culture, given the fact it's Etruscan culture, is that really a black culture? I'm gonna leave that alone. But
Kind of.
the third wave were the Arabs and the well, first the Hispanic and Arabs, but the fourth wave is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with melanated groups that are trying to Would you say they're trying to amalgamate into whiteness, Wani? Are these melanated
Which
groups
ones?
the Africans and Caribbeans?
Well, yes, I do think they are because they're horribly, horribly confused. They don't have racism as a part of their day-to-day life. They don't understand why someone would reject them based on color. They don't understand it. They think if I go to school with these people and I'm friends with these people, then they're all going to like me. And they are just having these perpetual Negro wake up calls, which I don't care about anymore. They're having their African wake up calls. I don't care. I used to try to protect these people, but I don't care anymore. In fact, I look forward to them getting those all the time. Just like the divester wake up calls. I don't care what calls they get. I'm not even interested in watching them fail anymore. They're just boring and repetitive. Like I said, they have hive minds. They still do the same things over and over. They don't learn. I mean, how long do you sell slaves and fail at it? And you still keep doing it, and it still keeps making you look like a savage, and you just keep doing it over and over again to the present day.
Yeah, what Wani is referring to is the doctrine of unequal exchange, ladies and gentlemen. Um, the enslaved Africans who were sold to the America to America. Now, all of us weren't. You know, I'm half indigenous. My mom's side of the family were in Alabama. Alabama is a phrase; it's not a word. Alabama means here we rest, and the dominant society knows it because what they say, "Sweet home Alabama, home is somewhere you rest." Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But my dad does have lineage back to that transatlantic slave trade. But what Wani's talking about is the Africans who sold us. Let me say that shit one more time. The West Africans who sold us to the Europeans sold us for trinkets and got ripped off with a dumb ass. According to Dr. Claude Anderson, page 113 of Black Labor, White Wealth. Claude says, quote, the self-destructive attitudes of the tribal chiefs have yet to be fully explained or understood, but historian Norman Combs offered one explanation as to why the chiefs so willingly traded their valuable resources to European and Arab traders. According to Combs, African tribal chiefs willingly participated in such questionable trade practices because West African economies were subsistence based, and therefore people were satisfied with the status quo and saw no need to accumulate wealth and power. So, what Dr. Claude Anderson just said is these damn fools in West Africa that sold us didn't need anything. They didn't need food. They didn't need sustenance. They were selling us to show off. Fuck them. They were selling us to Europeans to show off, ladies and gentlemen. So, given that fact presented by Dr. Claude Anderson, I think that these dumb motherfuckers thought they were going to amalgamate into whiteness too. Imbeciles. Let's delineate. Patty Cakes, what's up?
Well, hello there. Shout out to you, Professor Nikki and Wani, family in the building. Hey, Juicy, I see you. Uh, I am expecting my book to come. I have patronized you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. When did you
Uh,
purchase?
just now,
Okay.
when I came into the space, I went up to the jumbotron to see what you guys had up there, and I was like, "Oh, you got a book? Let
Okay,
me support the brother."
ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, right quick, Patty Cakes. If you I
Okay.
do have book supplies, so if you want to purchase my book, put $25 on my Cash App. But do me and yourselves a favor and put your full address and a name, so I can send it to you. Somebody purchased a book yesterday and didn't put an address, so make sure you put your full address in Cash App, and I'll send it out probably either Thursday or Friday. All right, so go ahead, Patty. I'm sorry for saying that.
Yes. Oh, okay. So, the next thing I wanted to say real quickly is, you all host and co-hosts have powers to deport these people that come up on stage out of the space. The reward is that the listeners don't get to listen to them anymore. So I'm all for deportation. Next thing I wanted to, I'm trying to be real quick. So next thing I wanted to say was, you know, uh the question of the day for me, because I've been going around asking it, is uh do any of y'all have cousins that can be deported? If the answer is no,
If I get
then
deported, I'm going back to Arkansas.
Hey, they sending me back to Alabama,
hello.
man.
I can't figure out where I'm going. Four different states?
All right. Oh Lord.
Damn, I'm
Oh,
all messed up.
Hey,
that's that.
they sending my big old ass back to Huntsville, Alabama.
I
Hey,
think I'm
hey,
gonna
and they
have to go
don't
to
care. Make a
Kentucky.
choice. Everybody going.
Kentucky.
Oh
There's
man.
somebody, hey guys, they're really going crazy over there on that blue app. Basically an individual was picked up by ICE who owned an apartment building. And people are saying, well, what are you gonna do if you don't have your landlords? Like my landlord, he got deported today. Like, look at God. And all
What?
the people in the apartment building are happy. And I said, okay, well, we have an opportunity to go ahead and seize his properties. Let's look at this
Hello.
from the perspective of
Amen.
seizureship,
What?
right? Yeah, no, no, look at it from that
Look at
perspective.
God.
Um,
Amen.
you have you if you illegally obtain something, now it's where are these deeds and these things going to end up? Whose hands do they go into? They should be going into ours. We should be able to, if he was able to obtain an apartment building and lease it out and take money from American citizens that were legally doing the right thing. And how did you get ownership over an apartment building without going through the bank? So there's a lot of people that are complicit in um, elevating illegals or people who were undocumented in a position, a financial position higher than Black Americans. Even, and it just shows you that they were actually keeping us financially subservient. We should be the owners. We should be the leasers and not the lessees. And now it's time for that transfer.
Correct. Okay, y'all. I got one more thing to say. I got one more thing to say. Okay, okay. I'm gonna get it out. Then I'm gonna be quiet. Did y'all hear that Trump wants to turn June into Veterans Month? And what else happens in June? All right, that's it. I love y'all. Thank you, sir, very
What
much.
does happen? Is that
Juneteenth.
Caribbean month?
Juneteenth.
Oh.
I'm not against that.
What month was what month was Caribbean Heritage Month where we talked about Bob Marley for 30 days?
Hmm,
Well, if
I
y'all
don't even
actually looked
remember.
at, if you actually looked at the plan that he had, that platinum plan at the very bottom of the platinum plan that he wrote out back in 2016, making Juneteenth a federal holiday was actually his policy. That was something he had, had put on the books to do. And,
Mhm.
Biden ultimately took that from his playbook to do, as a token, but I believe that if he, it was his idea, really. If you go back and look, the 2016, if you can Google this information, it's public. He was the one who was actually putting the law into place to acknowledge Juneteenth as a federal holiday for Black Americans. So if you look at the history, there has been steps that he's taken to acknowledge those descendants. You look at the
Thanks
story
for
I put
keeping up
about,
with all these things, Juicy. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah,
yes.
love it, Juicy. You own it.
Well, thank y'all for letting me speak. Shout out to you, family.
Shout
Oh
out to
my
you, Miss
goodness.
Patty.
I'm just happy. I don't know what to say. We is getting it together, y'all.
Yes, ma'am. I think let's see, Mercury. I see Spanish, man, that wagging the
Oh,
hand that gonna help you, man. Just chill out. Mercury, what's
that's
up?
hilarious what
Oh,
you
I
just
thought
said.
Magnus,
Oh, okay, my bad, Mercury.
Magnus was
Let's go to Magus first. Go ahead, Magus.
Mercury looks like he's not even on the stage. My phone is weird.
Hey, I just wanted to, I wanted to know if you guys saw Roland Martin, I guess, sort of losing his shit recent recently. I think it
Yes.
was just yesterday. It was like late at night. I'm
Hmm.
just like, what is he so unemployed because of this movement getting him out the paint that he has the time to just respond to every little
He's
tweet?
fussing with the women. I think he's jealous of that one woman. She's conservative. He seems to have, he probably likes her dresses and just doesn't know how to express himself.
It's funny because he did some he said something stupid and I responded to him by saying he was responding to Arthur Watkins. I believe it was
Right. He's mad.
yeah. He was so upset. I'm just like, well, he didn't. He tried to hide it at first and said, "Well, I was born here, so I'm not leaving. That's not gonna happen, right?" And then I said, "Hey, well, at the very least, you do need to get the hell out the way. You aren't fit to represent us. You're not really us, from what I hear. You're a tether, and you sold your soul," is what I told him. Assuming you had one to begin with. And then all he could do is say, "You only got 39 followers, dumbass. You can't change anything."
Sure, we
And then
can.
and then that's when I had to call him a soulless coon and told him that nobody in the community takes him seriously anymore. So he just got to hold that L. So he ain't respond to that, but
See, this 14th Amendment discussion is very powerful for us.
People forget that Donald Trump went to Warden. He's not. Was a brilliant move. This was brilliant, but it was also needed. It was spiritual, but politically brilliant. What a domino to push down. I'll tell you. Um, moving forward. Let's see. I kind of lost track of who was. Did Magus already speak?
What happened to that Spanish guy?
I felt like that was a troll. He can be gone.
Probably.
Yeah. Mercury, what's
You
up?
said you saw Mercury. Okay, yeah, he is on the stage.
Yeah, there's a few trolls in here, so it is what it is.
What's up, Mercury? Mercury going once. Mercury going twice. All right. Moving right along. Let's talk to Jersey. Jersey J, what's on your mind?
What's going on? What's going on? Where's the boss?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Tariq Nasheed, where's the boss?
I don't understand what's the issue? There is no boss here. We're all here as scholars. What do you need? What do you want?
No, I came on this platform expecting to see him, so I was wondering where he was. Is he all
Sir,
right?
sir, what do you want?
Why
What
He
do
you
wants
you
so
everybody to see his
hostile?
haircut.
Why you
what?
so hostile? I'm just coming on to say hi to everybody.
Because it's
You're
just
not coming on to say hi to
you're wasting our
everybody.
time.
You're
This is
coming over here looking for someone that you clearly can see their little bubble if they're in the space or not.
sir,
You gotta mature. Be an
with all due
adult.
respect, we're very serious people talking about very serious issues. We're not here to shuck and jive. So forgive me if I'm being curt with you. No disrespect intended, but I want to know the business. What do you have to say about the issue? If you want to sit shuck and jive, I humbly suggest you find another fucking page. So what issue do you want to address, sir?
Respect me, Jenna. Must okay. So what's
I
the
don't
subject?
speak I don't
Oh,
speak whatever the fuck that is. I speak
Did
English.
he? What did he say?
yo, stop
Respect
cutting
me,
through that
Jenna, whatever the
retard.
fuck that is.
What? Hold
Who's
on.
Jenna?
Yo,
Who's Jenna?
yo, why is everybody so tough on the internet?
No, we can do this in real life. What do you, what's the
Oh,
Oh, I
issue?
would love to
he's a
do this in real
Caribbean. I
life.
got it. Gotcha.
What's the issue?
He's triggered.
How am I
What are you
triggered?
triggered? What are you triggered about?
Why would I be? Why would I be triggered by you guys?
What's your issue?
Because you're in the room talking.
You got 6 seconds to state an
No,
issue.
no. Pay attention. He's fanboying. He's a fan.
Oh,
That's
Hi.
oh,
he's just not giggling, but you can tell that that's
Could
who
you
this
giggle
is.
for us? Just
he
giggle so
liking
we'll
on us.
know.
I'm on
Do we
the
need
side
to
of
tickle
FBA.
rub
I'm on the
your
side of
Hi.
little
FBA.
head?
I was raised in New Jersey. I love.
Nobody cares.
He's wasting our time. We got issues to discuss.
Why do they
What's
keep
the
telling us
issue?
where they were
What's the
raised?
What
I
topic
don't
about?
care.
what's the issue? Get off my stage.
What's the topic?
Can
Next.
you address the topic? Okay,
I got rid
somebody
of his
please.
ass. Hey,
God.
Somebody got time for that.
that yeah, that it's just like a classroom when you're like really learning and you're advancing, and then somebody come in there talking about what y'all talking about. Get out. Get out. Mercury,
He
you
just wants
ready?
some attention.
There's nothing worse than a man that wants attention. That's the worst thing on the planet. Can y'all please look at me?
Professor, that's like four you kicked out already.
But
It's getting real good.
man, I'm dead serious about what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is a meditation. We exercising some demons. We ain't got time for some. Hey, what y'all talking about?
The Spanish guy is back on the
All
stage.
right, let's hear it, Spanish. What's on your mind?
Please, Black Americans, rescue me. The ICE is after me.
You
Please
need to
rescue
blow your
me.
nose, first of all. Check it out.
Please
This Dominican was on the
rescue me.
timeline
Please rescue
telling
me.
us about his European admixture. So I'm like, "W- what are you talking
He
about?
said the ice.
Rescue me, please, Black Americans. You opened up the door for us to come to this country.
And we're gonna slam it in your goddamn face. Move along.
Rescue me, please. Rescue
We
me.
opened it and we're gonna throw your ass
He
out.
wanna be saved.
Next.
Hey, hey,
Everybody say.
don't save him. He don't
He
want to
wanna
be
be
saved.
saved.
Don't save him. Y'all stupid.
Cause
Or
we
hey,
gonna
take
switch
care at
it.
home. Your time is up.
We
Trump
gonna
is
switch it up on
coming.
you. We gonna play you the way you trying to play us. You're not gonna be able to. You can't outwit us. You can't outsmart us. You can't out troll us. Come on, like stop. What you want? Address the topic of the space. You want to read out loud?
Who's up?
Oh, he bounced back. These people are like crash test
They love
dummies
it.
They crashing
and got
out.
no material at all. Oh, save me, save me. Okay, sir, have your whatever you're doing, epileptic seizures somewhere else. I don't have time to listen to all that.
Let's see. Devon, Devon G. I don't know what that says. Oh, Devin Jeans. I guess that's what they say. What's on your mind?
Hello, thank you for letting me speak. It's Divogenes, like the philosopher Diogenes, and a mixture of
Oh,
Devon.
okay. Okay, got
Oh
Um,
it.
Lord.
I apologize. I'm not trying to upset any of you guys. I'm one of the light skinned ones, but I agree with you guys heavily. I'm a big proponent of what you guys are speaking on behalf of. I often get attacked because I do open mic comedy in LA, and
Hmm.
it's a big issue for me. And I came across this
What,
today, and I
being
was
yellow? A
that
yellow
that's a portion.
comedy is part of that's your problem?
No, I try to go over some sort of topics that people don't really like me talking
Like
about, and
what?
He's
kind
trying to
of
promote
everything.
his. He's trying to
I
promote
mention.
himself, Wani.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
are you
not trying to
promoting
promote
yourself?
myself. I'm really trying to find ways to not combat, but destabilize the arguments that people throw at me that I'm a racist or I don't.
Sir, sir,
Uh,
sir, sir. You have about 5 seconds to address the issue at hand. You're colonizing my space. This ain't about
Who
you. This is
wh-
about the
oh no,
topic.
I'm not. This
who
is yes,
thinks
this
you're
topic
hold on.
specifically, the
Hold on a
immigration.
second. Hold on a second. Who thinks you're racist?
Most people throughout LA, whenever I practice, that's just I. This is the
Okay.
topic in which I do talk about. One of these
Everybody,
topics is the
everybody,
immigration.
everybody thinks you're racist.
No, I wouldn't say everybody, but some of the more deranged folks.
People that don't like you not wanting immigration.
That's a portion of it, yes.
Okay. Anything
And I just
else?
wanted to ask the professor, like this. I don't know. I'm listening to you guys. I never heard anybody talk like this before. I just wanted to know how do I address people who try to combat me like that. That's all.
Sir,
I
On what?
apologize for.
I'm not at liberty to give you advice. I suggest you might want to find a counselor or something.
He
We're
need a
addressing
hug,
Oh,
Professor.
issues.
He just need a goddamn hug.
I don't understand what he's talking about. You say you don't like immigration, and people say you're racist. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Sister
I
Wanda,
go
you
over
need a
that
hug.
topic.
I don't have one.
I
All right,
want
my
a
guy.
hug.
We ain't got no fucks over here. So if you want to learn how to, communicate with
I
FBAs,
don't understand.
go read a goddamn book.
The whole country just voted to get rid of immigrants. So who's
You're
arguing with
right.
you?
Just well,
You're
like I
in a
said, I
power
practice out here in
position.
LA.
Maybe, well, yeah, you're probably talking to Mexicans. Are you talking to Mexicans?
A mixture of so.
Okay, well, they're not going to like immigration being halted. They want to flood the country with themselves.
I do apologize for derailing the conversation. I really do apologize. My bad for that.
Apology accepted. Have a nice day. Um, let's see. Let's see who we got. I, I'm gonna let Robbie Blue. Come on, man. Robbie Blue, educate us, sir. Robbie Blue, can you hear me?
I didn't even see Robbie
Come
Blue.
off your mute. Come off
Hey,
your mute, huh?
Hey,
Go ahead.
good morning. Good morning.
There
Hey,
he
I mean,
is.
well,
Robbie.
yeah, well, good evening. I was going to ask that gentleman before he left, and shout out to the host, because I looked on his page. He said people suspect me of being a Nazi. So I wanted to dig a little deeper to be like, what exactly are you talking about? You know what I mean?
I
Because I
think
think he
that's
was
that
trying to.
guy that was a black Nazi that was in Tariq's room that time. Remember, he was saying crazy stuff and talking about black people don't like him or whatever his yellow ass problem was.
I think he's trying to get a
Did he have a
Netflix
bra on
special.
his picture? Was he wearing a bra?
I can't remember. There's so many nuts. They're just rolling around in my head. I can't keep up with the. I need a secretary to keep up with these lunatics.
He just asked if the guy was wearing a bra.
It probably.
Uh,
Wani, they come up into space because where they're at, nothing is popping. Nothing.
again,
They bored. Nothing.
there's nothing
What do
more.
you
Nothing's
want us to
going
do?
on in their spaces or in their
We
head.
know they're dry.
Yes.
There's nothing more dangerous or despicable than a man that needs attention. Can y'all please look at me, please? Can you talk to me? That's it.
Well, you got to understand, they go to the crypto spaces, they get a bunch of optimism, and then they get ripped off. And then they go to the crybaby spaces and cry all day and look for black people to troll. And then once he gets on a drug binge, that meth dealer hits him. Then they go to the Christian spaces and brag about how sober they are. Guess what, guys? What? I've been sober for 3 years. And now I play bingo. It's like they're just, yeah, that's all I hear.
They have a crybaby space.
Pretty much all these other spaces where they cry the N word and cry about us getting reparations, and it makes their colon Powell because they done lost all their little crypto cash, and grandma got ripped off and they eating all their meal preps, gaining weight. You know what I'm saying? That they can't even keep their New Year's resolution to lose weight. Now they celebrating because Trump is telling them to eat cake. So they thinking they can say the N word till they say the ER and they end up in the ER and they're like, oh my God, oh my goodness.
He just hit me in my mouth.
I think Trump's going to run on universal health care. They hope they get some good dental because they play around with Negroes too much. We've been too quiet. There's been some black killings that happened last year. We didn't forget. We just said, okay, new approach. We don't need to George Floyd it. Just keep it up. That's all I'm saying. Just keep it up. There's some of us that are just tired. You're gonna get snatched at work. You'll be like, there's no way this Negro's gonna snatch me at work. There's all these cameras. It just depends on what you cut. You cut somebody's Medicaid. You know what I'm saying? You mistreat somebody mama when she's just there to get a routine checkup at the hospital, you might get snatched. I'm just saying.
Yeah, my grandmama said, "Be careful with them quiet folk."
She was right. Got to add nerds in on it now, though.
Mm-mm.
You know what? Professor, Tariq said something the other day on one of his spaces. He said he thinks Trump is just trying to separate us from all others, and then it's a possibility he might do something for us. It may not be that full reparations, but it's going to be something.
Yeah,
You agree?
just
What,
relax
what,
and just let it unfold.
well, the way I look at stuff, and I'm gonna put it in the jumbotron. You can look at the debt clock. Y'all go to debtclock.org. You can see how much the United States owes. Something drastic has to happen to pay our debt. And from my view, one of the best ways to boost the economy is reparations, because once we get reparations, where's the money going to go? Go right back in the economy. So he has to find, if I was in his position, I would be angling and finagling a way to give Black Americans reparations just to boost the economy. So we're in a position now where like Juicy said, the last will be first and the first will be last. You know what I'm saying? We're in a position that pendulum swinging back the other way, and nobody can do anything about it, and that's driving them crazy, and I love every moment of it.
And we have received a major untethering with this conversation. A major untethering. Okay? It can only get better from here. Each step, we're taking this apart piece by piece. We have a lot of people working on different things, and this was a major help for us.
But it hurts so bad. It's so stingy for them. It's stinging them. It's just hurting them and leaving all these bruises. What should we do?
Get some
We
Kicking in
want
the
to tell them.
bruise.
get some
We
Professor,
want to tell
popcorn.
somebody at least.
Professor, I had a
Yes,
question.
sir.
You said you were into constitutional scholar, correct?
Yeah, I'm a novice.
Well, you know enough to answer this
I
question.
teach it.
I'm,
I
I'm
teach it,
presuming.
but that don't mean I know what I'm talking about. But go ahead.
Okay, because I was looking at the 14th Amendment, right? And like it mentioned, and all four sectors of it had nothing to do with immigrants coming to have kids. So if it's taken up to that point even more, our lineage-based reparations claim will go even harder. Would that be a even
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, you have to look at the sequence, the scope and sequence of how it came. So the
like
14th
the intention? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The 14th Amendment overturned the Dred Scott case. Now I'm paraphrasing the Dred Scott case, but Dred Scott and his wife went to the court to argue that they wanted the right, common decency as an American citizen, and the court said, "Nope, you don't have common decency. You're not an American. We're not going to treat you like a white citizen because you're a slave." So the 14th Amendment came in diametric opposition to that court decision, and it granted citizenship in with respect to Dred Scott versus Sanford decision, by granting citizenship to people born in the United States. So in that context of Dred Scott, you're not gonna, in my pro se opinion, you're not gonna get away from Dred Scott. And in context of Dred Scott, people means black people. You understand me? And then not just black people. It means the black formerly enslaved freedmen. So what I was saying earlier, the way this little game works is Trump moved a chess piece. He used his executive powers to ban a birthright citizenship, which is granted under the 14th Amendment because the 14th Amendment said, well, no, no, which is allegedly granted under the 14th Amendment because the Fourteenth Amendment says all persons born or naturalized, stop right there in the United States, right? Are subject to the or and subject to jurisdiction thereof are citizens. Got it? Well, if you look at the Dred Scott decision, the what is the definition of person? According to Dred Scott decision, not Dred Scott, the 14th Amendment in diametric opposition to Dred Scott, the 14th Amendment overturned Dred Scott by granting citizenship to all people. So that in that context, and according to original intent, in my pro se opinion, people meant black people who were formerly enslaved. It was taken, in my pro se opinion, it was taken way out of context, um, with intent of hiding the ball, trying to keep it away from black Americans. I said earlier, the first game that was played was by the Supreme Court, who said that the Dred Scott decision, I mean, not that the 14th Amendment was intended to protect businesses, which was bullshit. Nobody bought it, so they shifted to immigrants, and but Trump went back to its original intent. And in my opinion, given the fact Trump made that chess move of executive power, banning it, and Article 3 hit that tennis ball back at Trump, filed a TRO, temporary restraining order. Now it's going on judicial review. Should it make it to the Supreme Court, which I think it is going to the Supreme Court? What do you think they're going to say? He installed half those Supreme Court justi, and furthermore, it's just the right, in my opinion, as a scholar, I think that's the right decision. The 14th Amendment is ours, baby.
Yes, yes. I smell that reparations check coming.
But
Yes, sir.
Professor, you know, the counterpart is you got these Hispanics and these tethers talking about, oh, we're going back to slavery, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And they're sitting there crying and whining because the pressure is on them. Like Wandi said, I think that they not used to fighting on their own accord. They used to get God and assistance through us.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing to keep in mind, the question I would ask is, why are they freaking out? Well, they intuitively know the hierarchy that I put in the jumbotron, that the feudal pyramid. They know that America was based, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, based off the old royalist system, whereas the nobles used to be related to the king by blood. Nobility turned into whiteness, the concept of whiteness. That concept of whiteness, just like the nobles were protected by the knights, that concept of whiteness were protected by the slave patrols, which later became, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, the police department. So below the police, you have two groups. You have the serfs, the common working everyday person, and you have the peasants on the very bottom. The peasant class, although as our sister Wani puts it, black Americans have never been a peasant class. We've been propagandized to the world as the peasant class, which is a very strange relationship. Whereas immigrants have been slipped into the part of serfs. You get it? One step above us.
Right.
Still under the police. They not white, they're not nobility, but at least they're not us. So if when we since we've delineated and taken ourselves out the whole goddamn pyramid, the pyramid is falling to pieces. But guess what? The pyramid ain't gonna crumble. Listen closely, ladies and gentlemen. The pyramid's just gonna find a new bottom. And guess who that new bottom's gonna be? Immigrants. And they don't like it.
They're on the bottom right now because they know Black Americans are not going anywhere and they're the ones scrambling around. And if they're not getting kicked out, their friends are getting kicked out. And if they're not getting kicked out now, they don't know what's in store. They don't know rug is about to be pulled out from under them, and what right that they have, because he can denaturalize anybody he wants. He already said that he's going to denaturalize people that have, that have married people just to get citizenship. They don't know what's going to happen. On top of that, there's three main things happening. The third thing is they know nobody likes their dumb ass and wants them to get the hell out. They see all these posts. They see all these people saying get out, millions and millions of people in America saying get ghost. They see that. So they know no one likes them. They know that whatever citizenship status they have is still on shaky ground, and they know that a lot of them need to leave and are going to leave in a very brutal way, and they're not going to like it. So
Well,
that's why they're upset.
Wani, Trump has hung around lawyers so long that he's actually learned something about law. um, looking at the 14th Amendment, I was looking over it, and I don't, to my pro se intellect, I don't see anything that says anything about in the 14th Amendment about getting married. It says, quote, all persons born and naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof um, are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge or the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor to deny any person within its jurisdiction equal protection of law. I don't see anything about marriage in there. So Trump, if he, I didn't hear, I'm trusting you on that. If he did say that about
He
marriage,
didn't say marriage, but it was implied the way he wrote it. It's like people that have gotten their citizenship through these little loopholes. Like I was reading about couples that are married. You can't, like, if you marry someone in the UK, that doesn't guarantee you a UK citizenship. So this couple had to go live in Australia where the other one lived. So we do need to roll back these things, or we can provide a less like a step down type of citizenship that doesn't have the same privileges, because these people shouldn't have the privileges. And yeah, he can take their citizenship away anytime he wants. I saw this happen to someone that worked at my building. All of a sudden his social security number didn't work. Okay, he was living here 30 some years, and he said, I don't understand it. His social security number got turned off, and the job said, hey, this isn't, you need to update this. He's like, what you talking about? Well, what happened was he was born in Mexico. Oh, wait a minute. No, he was born in Cuba, and his mother ran through Mexico. She got herself over here to Mexico when he was 6 months old, and she got her paperwork together, but she didn't get his together. She got him some weirdo social security number to go to school, and he never had his paperwork. So now he's like 30 some years old, and they turned it off. They turned it off. That was a security guard where I used to live. They just turned it off, and he got
damn.
fired. So they can do whatever they want to do anytime they want to do it. So they know they're on shaky ground, and they need to stop focusing on us and go pay attention to their lives.
I heard a
Sister Wani, did you? Oh, go ahead, Professor. Go
no,
ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just, bro. I was just gonna quickly say I heard somebody's cell phone getting cut off. I even heard somebody beeper getting cut off, and I ain't never heard nobody cutting off a social security number.
Yes, they
Damn.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I never
did.
heard that either.
That is a thing.
That is hard.
Oh yeah, but Sister Wani, they don't even care if you married. There was a video up the other day. A little fat white lady had married one of these little damn river runners, and goddamn the people came in and got his ass, wrapped his ass up.
Really?
Yeah, it was a fat old white girl. ICE came in. Did he? Oh, you got a
Oh,
warrant? Wrapped his ass on up. That river runner was gone.
damn.
Yeah, they don't
Now,
care if you married. They rolling. I hope he take this shit back even further. Let's get everything shooken out this motherfucker.
now down there in Texas, they got checkpoints now where they stop in cars. So
Well, the good news is that these people are so sloppy and jacked up mentally that they'll live here for 40 years, not know how to speak English and not having their paperwork together. So thankfully, they've done that. So people that really weren't that bad of a person will get drop kicked out of here anyway just for being lazy.
they just snatch one up.
Yep, they'll do it. I've seen them do
Yes.
that. People here 35 years, 40 years, babbling in Spanish and got their whole squatted out a bunch of anchor babies here, and that woman went right back to Guatemala.
This one, the wife got pulled over. Her paperwork was correct, but when they pulled out and switched cars, they stopped the husband. He didn't have nothing. He's been here for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter's on Instagram. I mean,
That's because
on
we have
crying. She's
laws, but
crying.
we don't apply those laws to them. We have these different tiered legal systems where we just don't want to bother these people. We want them to stay in the country and commit crimes and pick a few strawberries here and there.
Right.
Um,
Now,
Go
Wani,
ahead.
what's up with Gavin Newton talking about, we're
Um,
going to protect y'all? What is that?
oh, he needs to go to jail and take his hair gel with him.
And Brandon Johnson, that's the guy out there in Chicago. That's treason. That's straight
Yes, it
treason,
is.
correct?
They're breaking the law. It was addressed that if they need to make some people um what do you call it? Just make a spectacle of them, make them go to jail. They need federal charges. They're blocking they first off, these sanctuary cities are against the law. You're not even supposed to have those. So the people that put those together need to get in trouble.
That's the
And
Democrats.
everybody blocking them from being deported needs to get in trouble. These little sassy teachers talking about what they're not going to do, they need to get in trouble. They have kids. They're willing to go to jail and be away from their children just to go against Donald Trump. And they know that those illiterate kids are never going to learn how to read or speak English. They're just going to sit there looking dumbfounded in Spanish, dragging the class backwards. But if they want to do it, fine. But they need to be made an example of.
Captain saved somebody.